What's up, everybody? Tiger Paw Craven, Bible Belt Beauties, what's up? I'm going to actually be calling in to the radio. I'm on hold right now. I'll be calling into the radio here in a minute to do some just random talk with Walt. We'll see how it goes. I was originally supposed to do the show because he was going to be out sick, but then he's feeling better. So I figured might as well do a streaming show on YouTube while I'm doing the show. But I don't know. He hasn't given me any ideas of what we're going to be talking about. I'm assuming the Super Bowl. That's about all I know. That's how it goes on the radio. But if you got any questions, I'm gonna turn on the radio once it goes live. It's not live yet, so once the radio goes live, I'll turn it on. Who am I going for in the Super Bowl? Well, I'm not I don't really have a team. It's hard not to cheer for the underdog, the Bengals. But I don't hate the Rams. I mean, they got my favorite color, blue. I know being a Clemson fan, it's hard to say my favorite color is blue, but my favorite color. They do have a lot of really good stars on their team. So it's hard to say, but the Bengals, I feel like the Bengals have a chance. I really do. A lot of, nobody thought they'd be where they're at. So, and they got a lot of Clemson players on their team. Hey, Walt told me to call in. Yeah, that's cool. I'm just listening to the game. How does it go again? What's going on, South Carolina and all the ships at sea, right? All right, I'll do that.
Yeah, say it as loud as you can.
Okay, I'll say it as loud as possible.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, all right. Hang on. It'll be 10 minutes or so. You'll hear the open play, and then I'll fade out the open.
Okay, sounds
and
good.
You can say it.
All right.
Okay, all right. Thanks. Hang on, Morgan.
Yeah, thanks. All right, so I am on hold now. Yeah, I don't really care either. I'm pulling for the Bengals. I got some notes on it. I really haven't watched a lot of NFL games this year. So I really haven't, I've watched all the playoff games. I've enjoyed all of them. I thought it was really good. I am hoping for a good game too. I mean, there have been a ton of good ones so far, I feel like. I thought the Bengals and the Chiefs were good. I thought the Niners were good. Which that Niners game really made me feel like, that the Bengals will have a chance. Because, and I'll talk about it on the radio, but they have a chance. Walt wants me to do the intro, so I gotta. All right, I'm going to turn the radio on.
Tonight as they play Duke at 8 p.m. This game's sold out, but you can listen to it right here on the Clemson Athletic Network. You're in luck. And if you have a ticket, if you're lucky enough to have a ticket for tonight's game, you can go to the arena and listen to Don Munson and Tim Beret go at it tonight as the Tigers look to spoil Mike Krzyzewski's final game in Little John College. Speaking of Dukes, your Clemson women's basketball team's back in Little John on Sunday, February 20th, as they host Duke at 2 p.m. So the next home game for the men's team is Duke. Next home game, team for the women's game for the women's team is Duke as well. Don't forget, tickets to all Clemson women's home games are absolutely free, and that will be the final home game of the season.
Yeah, but this will be the first time Kara Lawson comes in as a head coach of Duke program. Didn't play last year, so I think it'll be just as exciting as a game for the women next Sunday.
You know, sometimes we talk about styles making fights. The way this game started, you could tell it's going to be a little bit different. Clemson beat Wake Forest in what was a really ugly game in Winston-Salem. We were there, we know. This game was not ugly. Wake Forest had 5 players in double figures. The Tigers shot 48%. They made 22 of 28 free throws. This game was not a rock fight like the first one, and yet Clemson was able to beat the same team playing a totally different style of basketball game.
Yeah, I think the stat I read in the Wake Forest game notes was Wake Forest is 0 for 9 in conference play when their opponents shoot over 40%. So Clemson shot almost 50%, and I think that might have been the difference there. The rebounding, the limiting the shot attempts, and the high percentage shooting. I mean, Delisa Washington hit 2 threes.
So,
I mean, anytime that's happening, you know the Tigers are firing on all cylinders.
I'm just
and one
waiting
player
on
we didn't talk about with AB was
getting put on
Kiana
the radio
Gaines,
here. It's
who
going to take some
continues
time.
to
They're doing
be
a
just
post-game,
outstanding.
the
7 of
basketball,
12
the
from
women's
floor. She
basketball.
missed her 2 threes today,
And I'm just making
but
sure
4
I
6
know what
from
I'm
the
going
line,
to say.
18 points, 5 rebounds. She continues to be an absolute godsend for this team late in the season.
Yeah, and I really don't even think she's playing her best basketball.
No.
I think what we've seen is some of her potential, but I don't think we've seen her play all out yet. So she continues to improve, but I think it's all about her confidence. You know, she has to get used to playing at this pace, used to making decisions on the fly. You know, when you're transitioning from high school to the highest level of college basketball, it's not easy to just turn it on like that, but she has done a fantastic job.
2 games for Jewel Spear against Clemson. She is now 12 of 41 from the floor. She made 4 threes today, 4 of 8. Much better percentage from deep than the first game. But Clemson's really had her number. It won't show it because she's averaging 19 a game. That is her per-game average. But the number of shots she's putting up, you're talking about 38 points on 41 shots. For somebody who makes a lot of threes, that is not a good ratio.
And you know what, Clock? My initial thought was Jewel Spears trying to get her average right now. I mean, she knows the second string is in. She's gunning to get her shot off because it's not the same level that she was facing for most of the game.
You know,
so
I don't disagree with you, Krusty Buster. I'm about to get on the radio here
she must have had, what,
after this
10,
post-game show, but
8 or 10
I'm going to I don't disagree with you. I'm not going to do a show at 7 o'clock tonight because
the fact that she wasn't really a factor in this game.
I totally agree. If you look
I'm going to
at the
I'm going to try to watch the women's softball game, really, to be honest with you. Plus, I'm going to be doing this until 7, so 4:20-ish, 4:30-ish to 7.
2 for 12
so
going
it's long.
in.
It's going to be a long show, but
really
I wanted
exciting.
to stream it anyways.
And like you said, the score, the 9-point win, it really should have been more like 15, 16 point win.
Christina Moore was good for them. Much better than the first game. 16 points, 9 rebounds to give her credit as well. Nunu Bradford played through foul trouble with 9 points for the Tigers. Hannah Hank, 7 points, 5 rebounds. She had a big 3 in a corner.
Yeah, I feel like that Joe Burrow
was able to get Clemson going. Tigers win it by 9 with their highest point
is
total
legit.
of the season. 87-78
I mean,
over Wake Forest.
He tore up
we'll
Clemson.
Step aside,
you
take
know?
a break. When we come back, we'll give you highlights of today's game. To wrap it up, from high atop Little John
he beat up
Coliseum.
Clemson.
Stay with us. You're listening.
So, and to your point, I mean, he's gritty. He's a winner. What are they, 3-0 in the playoffs? I mean, he does. He's a gamer. He knows how to make plays. I mean, he's one of the rising up and coming quarterbacks for the NFL. Everything I've seen from him, I mean, anybody like you mentioned, Krusty, anybody who can get sacked like 9 times against the Texans and still win. Now, a lot of it was the Texans had a terrible offense, but still, I mean, like you said, I mean, he got destroyed, and and he still kept coming. You can't kill him. you can't kill Joe Burrow. He just keeps coming. The man can ball. Facts. I mean, yeah, you're right. He did not give it up. And get in the chat for sure. Like, anything you guys want to talk about, I'll try to bring it up on the radio. Any like replies, I'll try to bring it up. Walt is probably going to talk about many different subjects today. I don't know. I'm assuming NFL, Super Bowl. I'm assuming, maybe some NBA. I really don't know much about the NBA though. But I know the trade deadline was today. But I'm hoping a lot of NFL stuff. That's what I'm hoping because I'm gonna need some help on the other topics. I don't know how much Clemson he's going to talk, so we'll see. You're always welcome, man. You're always welcome. Just waiting. They're still doing their post-game highlights, stuff like that. Qualk is doing them right now. Okay, they're not going to have highlights. Never mind. Yes. Okay. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Be quiet until the all right. Once the music's done, then I'll do the intro. Okay. Okay, gotcha. Just getting my instructions in my ear here. Sorry about that. But they're finishing up. They're finishing up the show now. I've never done this like live. I usually just record these and then play them later. But I figured, hey, might as well. Professional. Yeah, very true. I don't know if I could ever be claimed as professional. Professional. I mean, so with the playoffs, what I did is I just started watching them all. You know what I mean? I watched I watched Tampa Bay and Philadelphia, Cowboys and San Francisco, LA, Arizona. I watched those games. I watched the Bengals, Raiders. I watched the Bills, Patriots. I watched the Chiefs and Steelers. I watched those games. Really, like I said, I just tried to pick one each. I didn't follow one team all the way through. I picked the Titans, and then they just didn't really impress me. I picked the Bills over the Chiefs. They didn't, they almost made it. Almost. I was surprised by the Packers and how they would. Professional would never say, you know what I mean, if you know what I mean. So I can't say, you know what I mean. Yeah, I just like I said, I'm completely. You just have to make fun of me today because I'm completely clueless of what we're going to talk about. See, in my show, I can dictate that. All right, so the basketball game just finished. Now they're going to commercial, and we're getting ready. Like I said, I'm hoping a lot of NFL talk. I mean, even though I don't really know much about the NFL, Walt, I'm sure will keep it going for me. But so I'm calling in. I'm just a caller. You'll be able to hear what I hear. I'm going to do the intro because Walt is under the weather. He's been sick, and he's going to try to do the show, but I'm going to try to help him out. Let's talk about Urban Meyer destroying Trevor Lawrence's rookie season. Well, do you think Doug Peterson, the new coach, is an upgrade, is a better choice? Are you guys excited about that? That would be my. I don't know much about Doug Peterson. I know he won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. I know that he is a former quarterback and he can help, maybe help Trevor Lawrence more than Urban Meyer. I mean, if you can even say Urban Meyer helped him at all, like you said, hurt him, really destroyed his more than anything. Oh. Oops. What team will Deshaun Watson? I'm over with hope for Deshaun, really. I've lost all hope of that. I'll pull for him. Yeah. Just hey, what's up? Yeah, I'm here. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Do you still want me to take the lead or so okay. So we're going to say what's going on South Carolina and all the ships at sea. And that's it. What is going on South Carolina and all the ships at sea, right? All right. And then he's going to take over from there? And then he's going to take over from there, or I'm okay. 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 I just didn't know if I needed to like introduce him or what. I think he'll be fine. I mean, yeah, just ask him. I mean, I could say, you know, this is Road Rage with Walt Deptula, you know, or something like that. Okay. Is this in any sports talk? Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Still waiting on that. Okay, he'll take over after we yell. Okay, got it. Understood. Okay, I'll do that. All right. All right, so I'm going to yell, which still got commercials, so I'm not playing the radio yet for you, but I'm going to yell. This is an interesting live stream for sure. I'm going to yell, and what is going on? I can't be drinking this Coke. It makes me burp. What is the forbidden door? I feel like you might be an AEW fan. Hopefully you're an AEW fan there, KPC Toy. KPC Toy, the Forbidden Door wrestling fan there. I love it. Can't wait for Rampage to see Sling Blade wrestle. So excited to see Keith Lee, man. Just what a beast of a wrestler. I mean, he deserves these guys that have been Vince McMahon and ruined. They deserve to have a chance under Tony Khan. I think Tony Khan's going to do them right. Anybody who complains about Tony Khan not doing them right, which, by the way, I don't think Walt's going to talk any wrestling, so you guys can forget that. But you know, basket is I don't but I'm excited for I thought Wednesday night was good. Even though, okay, KPC Toy, do you like that they blade and they juice, you know? Sometimes I feel like it's almost like there's blood every week. And sometimes it kind of ruins it for me a little bit. It's just me. Double color, super rare. That's what my friends were telling me. My friends were telling me, stop complaining because double color is very rare, very rare. And I don't know. I just feel like I don't want to be complaining, but it just feels like they do it every week. I mean, you good with it? Old school Southern, yeah. It does feel like WCW more for me. That's why I like AEW better than WWE. So. Oh, okay, yeah. Well, you know, you tricked me there, KPC Toy. You tricked me. You're the person that I've been talking to. I can barely see your photo. I should have known from the photo. I do feel like, man, when Keith Lee just chucked Isaiah Cassidy across the mat, I thought, man, that is awesome. Put on South Carolina and all the ships at sea.
Well, that was perfect comedy.
Oh, yeah.
That was perfect. That was perfectly in sync. That's my alleged best friend, Morgan Thomas, and my other best friend, Ramona, producer Ramona. Yeah, doing
now
the
I can't
saving my voice.
Yeah.
What's going on there, Morgan?
You know, I don't know how we pulled that off. I'm proud of what we did just now. I really am.
I would say it was something short of pulling it off, but that's just my neutral observer position. I could have, or I couldn't have. All right, so let me start here. Okay, Morgan's hanging out with me for the whole show today, and when I take some vacation time, Morgan will be filling in at times for me here. So Morgan will be joining us all day today, and of course, if my voice gives out at any point, then he'll actually wind up taking over today. Okay, so here's the deal. All right, you know, Ronnie, remember how people used to play the secret agent stuff? And I'm so secretive here that people think like I'm some secret agent or something. But I don't tell you every little thing that goes wrong in my life, because people have things wrong in their own lives. They don't need to hear that from me. So I save that stuff, okay? And people ask, and I'm like, I'm okay. I'm okay. But by Tuesday, when I called in to say I wasn't coming in, my mouth was moving, but like nothing was coming out.
Yeah.
It was just like like bad phone caller sounds.
Yeah.
Like prank phone caller sounds. Right. And, so I'm calling Ben Milstead saying I'm not coming in. Other than he recognized the phone number, I don't think he understood a damn thing I said because he couldn't. So here's the deal. As God's my witness, these things happened, okay? You're going to like this, Morgan. Did I or did I not, when I spoke to you Tuesday, tell you that I had turkey vultures hanging out in my backyard?
No.
I thought I told you that.
No, you must have hallucinated telling me that.
They were on the pine trees, all right?
Yeah.
And I've, you see turkey vultures all over the place, but I seldom see them in my yard. And especially notable, there was no smell. Now, I admit I couldn't really smell anything. Because I honestly, by Tuesday, I ran the COVID test, just to be clear. I had the little shop at home COVID test, and they were telling me I didn't have COVID. Seriously, by Tuesday, it got worse and worse to the point. I mean, when Clemson played basketball, I've not missed a Clemson basketball game. I watch every game. Honestly, I didn't even know they were playing. I was so out of it, so absolutely out of it by Tuesday. So I'm waiting to hear from the doctor, right? And meanwhile, the turkey vultures are on the big pine trees out at my fence line, and they're just hanging out there, looking all vulture-y. They're like the cartoon things. And I'm thinking, there's no smell. I figured it out now. They were there for me because they're gone today. Because they're gone today. So they were waiting on me.
Oh my God!
Yeah, they had like advanced news of it or something, and they're they're waiting on me. This happens. Okay, I'm in really rough shape on Tuesday, and I'm waiting for a doctor to call. So I get a phone call from a number I don't recognize. I pick it up, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to tell you what charity, but it's a charity, all right? And I say to this guy, to phone boy, look, man, I can't talk to you right now. You have to call me back another day. And he says to me, this guy says to me, then why did you pick up the phone? Then why did you pick up the phone?
Does he want money, or is he just...
In 2 seconds, he learned all of George Carlin's words that you're not supposed to say.
No.
Both barrels. I wanted to reach through the phone and choke the SOB right there. I swear to God. Are you kidding me?
I know. I mean,
then okay. I'm gonna. Here's a little road rage newsflash. All you solicitors now, you're out. Do not call me for anything. I don't care who you represent. I don't care who you represent.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in you anymore. Then why did you pick up the phone? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, who says that?
Right. Yeah, I'm done with you people. I don't trust any of you, first of all. I don't know any of you. I did give at the office. I'm not giving to any of you people who call me by phone. No, what are you saying there with your
if you're not going to do the intro because you don't want to yell, maybe you shouldn't yell yet.
Oh, it's too bad.
You're yelling.
Too bad.
So why didn't you
I'm
just
past
do the
that.
intro?
I'm past that. I'm warm
right.
now.
He's hot.
I'm warm now.
Right, you heard it,
I fended the vultures off. All right, so here's what happens. When I finally speak to the doctor, he sort of figures it out and sort of knows what's wrong with me. He knows it's not COVID, but he knows what I need, all right? So he calls in, texts in, whatever they do, prescriptions for me. The only pharmacy that's open all night, all right? But that pharmacy is a 45-mile there and back drive from my house, all right? So on Tuesday, feeling like I'm dying, I set out and I take like old reliable, all right? I take the old silver Jeep, all right? Old reliable. All right, so here's the deal, Morgan. I'm on my 45-mile drive to the pharmacy. It's like midnight. It's like 11:30, whatever it is. Yeah.
I mean, there's a CVS on every corner. Where are you at?
No, Morgan, not where I live. There's no CVS. There's no anything on any corner where I live except a random Subway that they planted out in the middle of nowhere and an ice machine. But other than that, no, there's nothing where I live, Morgan. It's a 45-minute ride to get to that CVS pharmacy on North Main Street in Anderson and get back. All right, so I begin the little trek, the journey, right? And the next thing I notice, I'm getting a red light on my dashboard, which I normally ignore. I have a long history with lights of dashboards and Jeeps, and I just normally just ignore them. And I did this time too. And this Jeep, this warning said, I've never seen this before. It said, check gauges, check warning gauges. And so I'm looking at the warning gauges, and they're all working except the alternator charger, which is down to 0. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, it's just the gauge. The gauge is broken. It's nothing to worry about. Just continue. So I continue, right? And I get to the pharmacy, and I get the prescriptions, and I start heading home. I'm like halfway home, and all of a sudden I realize the lights inside on the entire dashboard are all dimming. They're all dimming.
Oh my
and
God.
And then the next thing I realize
or something, right?
The next thing I realize is, oh no, the headlights are dimming too.
Oh.
And it's 25 degrees out. I know I said I'm dying. I'm wearing a T-shirt. I don't even have a coat on because the vehicle has heat. I'm not expecting to be broken down, all right? But now I'm facing a very real prospect that, I'm like half dying and that at 25 degrees I am about to be broken down. I have an idea now what's going on. And I keep driving. There are no cars. Luckily, there are no vehicles, no anything. My headlights are dimming, and I recognize this. I still have lights. Finally, I get to the street that leads to my street, and now they're really dimming, and everything is fading to black. I know it's not going to be long now, all right? I get into my driveway, and everything dies. Shuts off, no lights, no anything. But the amazing part is somebody was looking after me. Somebody didn't want those vultures at me because
that was definitely a real miracle that
on
you made
a
it to your
45-mile drive, that stinking vehicle died right in my driveway. I mean, it could have died anywhere from 1 to 44.5.
Yeah.
And I'm screwed. It died right in my driveway. And so it was the alternator, as it turns out, and I was running on battery. And so the gauge was actually right. The gauge that read 0, it wasn't the gauge that was wrong. It was the driver.
When the gauge read 0, were you on your way back or on your way there?
I was on my way there. I thought the gauge was just broken. I thought, I've ignored, like check engine lights to me mean nothing because
even though you're driving the Jeep.
No. The reason check engine lights to me mean nothing is because they're always on in my vehicles. So if I actually do have a reason for those stinking lights to come on at one point, it won't help me because they're on all the time. They're my friends.
Is this the Jeep that died while you were looking at a car or something?
It is. Well, look.
I get the Jeeps confused.
Yeah, well, yeah, but that was just a simple cheap fuse issue.
Yeah.
But that Jeep, what I call all reliable, that thing will run forever.
I know.
It's not the Jeep's fault.
No, here we go again.
It has the original alternator in it. It has the Chrysler original alternator in it.
So it's off.
The alternator's 150,000 miles old.
It's off getting an alternator now?
No, it's done. It's going to be towed back.
Oh, okay. So you've already
friendly.
That's right. The tow people can come while you're sick and get it.
But and again,
you're not needing to drive it.
Well, and again, it's like I said when Morgan when I brought the red Jeep in to have the supercharger taken out of it because that thing was just annoying the blank out of me. When I brought that in to a place I hadn't dealt with before, when it was done, I had it towed back, and the woman says to me, "Okay, so we're towing it to your address." She said, what's your address for the towing company?" I said, "Oh, trust me, they don't need my address. They know exactly who I am, where I live.
Yeah.
Trust me, they know. I own half of the company. They name their flatbeds after
me. One of those coupons where they click it, and when you get 10, you get one free.
Look, they give me some free ones just because they feel sorry for me.
Like a free sandwich.
Yeah, exactly. What's going on, Morgan?
I mean, you don't have to pay for an oil change there. I'm sure they just whatever. This is just a small piece of gratitude for all the times you taking it in. I have a Jeep Grand Cherokee myself, 2004. It's almost 200,000 miles on it, and it does the same thing, man. I'm driving down, all of a sudden something will ding. I was on the phone with my dad recently, and something dinged, and it was I don't know, some check engine light, bing, bing, bing. As long as you don't turn that bad boy off, you just keep going.
It's just
don't
normal.
turn it off.
Right. Who cares? It's just lights. They're merely suggestions. That's what they are.
Especially for a Jeep, a good model Jeep.
Right. Merely suggestions. We don't worry about such trivial stuff unless the lights are red.
Is that why my friends call them dummy lights?
Well,
nobody pays attention to them?
Yeah, I ignored the red light. Probably not best to ignore any lights that are in red is what I learned. So I will not in the future be doing that. But the fact
and the gauge.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
When it said 0.
Well, yeah, but I thought that meant the gauge I thought the warning light was telling me that the gauge was shot. Because look, here's what I did. I turned it off and turned it on again a couple times. It started right up. So I thought, no, okay, it's just the gauge.
It's a false sense of security.
All right, I thought it was just the gauge. I realized as everything dimmed to black, that it wasn't just the gauge.
If this is the story that you have when you didn't get stranded, I can only imagine what goes on if you did get stranded. Now I want to that would be probably an epic adventure for you.
Yeah, well, the good news is whenever I go any distance away, I probably should not say this, especially now, but whenever I go any distance away, they have never let me down. Never. Got me out of all sorts of bad stuff. I told you, at one time, I drove into a crater with the black Jeep. I mean, it was unbelievable, Morgan. I pulled in this area, and I did not see this at all. It was all in high grass, and the Jeep fell in a hole. I mean a deep hole, and the Jeep was teetering. And if I had moved one finger to the right, the whole thing would have rolled over into the depths of the hole. It was actually rocking back and forth as to whether it was going to tip over completely. And I jammed it in four-wheel drive, and I pounded the gas, and I rose up out of that hole like chitty chitty bang bang, and it was like, I mean, I thought I was screwed. I thought there was like no way I was getting out of this.
Uh-oh, I think I lost him. Let me call him back.
Thank you for calling the studio lines for The Roar. Someone will be right with you to get your name and topic you want to discuss.
In the archives, plus every time I give you some, you don't want to edit it, so we don't wind up adding it. But don't make it sound like we don't.
Morgan?
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah.
I just want to make that. I want to make that clear. I don't know if Snoop Dogg's going to be at the Super Bowl halftime. He has a little.
That's why they're piling up a few of them.
He has a little.
In case one doesn't show.
Well, he has a little legal issue that just came up. He's being. Yeah, well, he's being sued for sexual assault, alleged sexual assault, which occurred like 9 years ago. I don't know why he's being sued now. Seems a little late. You know, I don't know.
Maybe they went. I know that guy.
Yeah, maybe. Like they never heard of him before, or maybe they just knew that he was going to be doing the Super Bowl halftime show. I'm not sure. Look, I always want to give the benefit of the doubt to the alleged victim, and I don't know when this legal action began, but where has it been for 9 years? I don't know. 9 years ago makes me. You'd have to prove that to me. I don't know. Maybe it's not the right way to look at it, but 9 years ago is a long time. But by the way, on the Super Bowl, people keep asking me. You know what? I hate both these teams. Is that Morgan Thomas back? Is he on? Did you lock him in? Is he good? Morgan, I know you're like a newbie to the NFL. Did you ever adopt a team, Morgan? Did you choose a team? Did a team choose you? Did?
Well, you know, I started with the playoffs because Faxon Childress told me you got to pick a team. So I said, you pick a team. He said, you pick a team, then you start to really like the NFL. Well, you know, I originally was following Deshaun Watson. That's kind of on hold for now. Until you know, forever. But so I was like, okay, I need to pick a team, and just a team, not like a person. It's easy for a Clemson fan to pick a person. So I said, okay, well, my favorite color is blue. I know Clemson fans always rag me about this. It's got to be orange. No, my favorite color is blue. So I said, well, I'll go to the Cowboys. And then there was a
Do you have a favorite color, Morgan? Ramona, do you have a favorite color?
It's green. Yeah.
Walt,
I guess mine's gray. All right, go ahead, Morgan. Continue with your blue. Continue with your blueness. Yeah, all right, so now we're considering all the blue teams in the league. Is that it?
So I went with the Cowboys at first, but they only lasted like 2.5 hours. You know, they got kicked out quickly. So, and then everybody ragged on me about the Cowboys because they're like, everybody hates the Cowboys. But then, you know, Lids and Hat World came out on Twitter and said that the most purchased gear in the NFL in South Carolina is the Cowboys. So there are a lot of Cowboys haters out there, but apparently there are a lot of Cowboys fans out there that are purchasing things that aren't telling people. So you can get ragged on.
All right. Yeah, no, I'll tell you about the Cowboy fans in the upstate. Don't go anywhere. Hold on, Morgan. We're going to keep the listeners in suspense as to how this story eventually unfolded and who you eventually chose. But before we do anything else, I need to tell you about my friends at First Class Halt. Halt's an acronym that stands for Honda, Acura, Lexus, Toyota. No one does it like First Class Halt. Look, all of their techs have 15 to 35 years worth of experience with these makes and models. No one does it like First Class Halt. That's why they are your dealership alternative. They give you a 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty. I need that. That means if your vehicle, if something goes wrong, they put a water pump in for you, and 2.5 years from now it goes south in Arizona. They pay to have you towed, pay to have you fixed. I'm sorry, who does that? With an oil change, what kind of service do you get? Do they test drive your vehicle before and after? Does a Master Tech rotate your tires? Does a Master Tech measure your brakes? Do they even have a Master Tech where you're going? Do they check your suspension and fluids? This is First Class Halt. Right now they have great specials. All locations, free tire protection plan, $49.95 value. That's free. At the Cherrydale Anderson locations only. BOGO free, buy one tire, get one free, alignment free when you purchase 4 tires from First Class Halt. Book now. The Cherrydale Anderson location only, 50% off. Hunter Road Force Tire Balance, now only $49.95. All locations, $100 off. Any Halt, Honda, Acura, Lexus, or Toyota timing belt package. The 2 original locations, Greenville and Anderson. The brand new Cherrydale location at 3050 North Pleasantburg Drive. Quick break.
WCCP-FM 105.5, Clemson, Greenville, Anderson. WAHT AM 1560, Cowpens. 97.5, Spartanburg. We are the Roar.
All right. So, on commercial, first commercial break. It's 5 o'clock. We got 2 hours to go. We're on commercial now. What's up?
Oh, you're on a show right now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how's some of your exercise?
I'm on the radio.
For what time? Till what time?
Till 7?
I can't eat dinner. Oh.
Didn't think about it.
I'm not going to cook then.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, just bring me something then if you're going to go cook.
You want me to bring you food while you're on the radio? Just wait till eat after.
Oh, yeah, true. It's a better idea.
Okay. Well.
All right. Imagine having to fill 4 hours of airtime 5 days a week. That takes some dedication. Yeah. I don't know if I could do it. Not 5 days a week. Maybe 1 day a week. It would take me, especially having a real job. It would take me. It would take me all. I would have to get off of work and then just start prepping all day. I mean, I'd have to prep for hours. Of course, funny story. I was watching Colin Cowherd, and I noticed that he repeats some of his topics, at least on Wednesday. He talked about Kyler Murray deleting all of his social media posts that involved the Arizona Cardinals, and then turned around and he said it the first hour, and then at the third hour said the whole thing again, the same exact conversation, the same points, the same argument, just over again. So I'm like, well, I mean, I guess most people don't watch or listen to your whole entire show. So you could essentially do that if you wouldn't want to do it every single hour, right? Because that would be bad. But I mean, if you got a 3-hour show and you said something on the first hour for 10 minutes or 5 minutes, and you could bring it up again on the third hour, That would help. But yeah, 4 hours every single day every single weekday. Whew, that is tough, man. I agree with you. Scott, been a Clemson fan since I was 8. A Cowboys fan about the same. I've been a fan throughout all of the good and the bad. When I was a little kid, I was a Cowboys fan just for the time they won the Super Bowl. So it's like a bandwagon fan. Hello from Philip says hello from Jefferson, Georgia. Was raised right over here in Anderson. Nice. Welcome in from Jefferson. That's awesome. Very cool. Thanks for getting in. I am just co-hosting today on the radio. So, I won't say much, hopefully, because I don't know much about all the sports that Walt does, but we'll get through it. So yeah, I
Walt, Deptula Road Rage. We are back. Texter for writes, how can you hate these teams? Such a refreshing break, dude. Not to me, dude. There's two teams that I don't think are the two best teams. I don't know really how they got there. And I don't think you're going to have a massive viewing audience other than it's the Super Bowl. And I think that's why they're so heavily promoting the halftime show and so heavily promoting the commercials. Because I think this game is going to need some support. Because it could turn out to be close, but no, look, there's nothing really intriguing about this game to me. I mean, I hate both these friggin' teams. I don't really like anything about this Super Bowl, to be honest. And you know what? The commercials just suck out loud. They get worse every year. And I don't know what that deal is anyway. Are there just zillions of people who watch nothing but the commercials? The commercials get worse every year. We become less imaginative as a society every year. And they get worse and worse. They're not going to save the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl, hopefully the game is close at least. Hopefully it's close at least. I think the Rams are still going to win. Although Matthew Stafford worries the heck out of me, to be honest. All right, Morgan. Back to Morgan Thomas before we move on here, and because we need to find out how Morgan's story turned out. All right, so Morgan, you chose Dallas, then you backed out of Dallas, then you chose Dallas again because something you saw on the internet about the amount of Dallas Cowboys gear that gets sold in South Carolina. I can tell you, Morgan, I was at a sports bar years ago. That's many, many moons ago. I don't even remember the name of the place. I don't even know what it was. But it was on a Sunday, and I walked into this place, and there were nothing but Cowboy fans. They were everywhere,
wow.
And they're all wearing Deion Sanders jerseys. There were fat Deons and tall Deons and short Deons. There were Deons everywhere, Morgan. All right, so there are a lot of Cowboy fans in the upstate. So you went with Dallas.
Well, I didn't go back to Dallas.
Your mind again.
No. I only picked them once, then they lost, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna,
Morgan,
I gotta watch the rest of the.
It says he's there.
Oh, sorry, I'm there. I'm here.
Okay.
So I didn't pick Dallas twice. Let me say that first. I didn't pick Dallas twice. I picked them once. They lost, and I said, you know what? Anytime to be a bandwagon fan is now when you don't have any team. So I'm just going to move on. But then I felt, everybody was ragging on me. You should have never picked him in anyways. And then I realized, there's a lot of Cowboys fans out there that don't want to admit they're Cowboys fans. But, the Deion Sanders jersey is nice. I might pick one of those up just to have. But, he doesn't play anymore, so it's kind of tough there. But I continued with just picking one team for each game. Kansas City, they broke my blue rule, okay? But I do like Patrick Mahomes.
Just barely.
They're all red.
Yeah, if bright red is just barely breaking your blue rule, I would say it's an abrupt departure from your blue rule.
I picked the Titans, and Ryan Tannehill. That's just asking for pain if you follow anybody that he's leading. So I was like, I'm out of here. I didn't even realize. I had no idea that they were on a bye, because how in the world could Ryan Tannehill field one of the better teams that deserved a bye? Made no sense to me. Now keep in mind, I haven't watched the regular season, so I'm just playoffs here, but. The Tennessee Titans disappointed me big time. Then I also broke my blue rule because there wasn't an option. I picked the who is it? The Green Bay Packers, and
there's a hint right in the title, Morgan. Green, green.
And you know what? I agree with you. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is all in it. He won the MVP. It's crazy to say he won the MVP, but he's out here playing golf this week. He doesn't care. He's moved on. He's growing his hair out, playing golf, hanging out with Pat McAfee, whatever he wants to do. And so he's not leading that team. And then I landed on the team that I think, is the team I'm going to stick with, which is the Rams, because they're blue. And they bought all of their. So
you're
like
players. The all-time front runner. You wait till you see whether they're going to the Super Bowl, and then you pick a team.
No, I'm a longtime Rams fan since early January.
Oh yeah, longtime Rams fan. 6 days.
Since at least January 20th.
Longtime Rams fan.
So, I'm going for the. Well, I don't know who I'm going for, because then when I said I'm going for the Rams in the Super Bowl, all my Clemson friends said, well, why don't you go for the Bengals? They're the Tigers. It's a Bengal Tiger, right? And then they have multiple Clemson players on the team.
They also have Joe Burrow, who beat Clemson and rubbed Clemson's face in it.
Yeah, he did. And I'll mention this, too, about the Super Bowl. I actually happen to be doing marketing for the Super Bowl halftime show, which is, kind of like been taking up all of my last 3 weeks. And so I think it's a big deal. Only because, my paycheck depends on it. But
well, don't count on Snoop being there, apparently.
Oh, well, I'm going to have to change out all the creative now for that. I'm sure I'm getting the calls right now about it.
Yeah. So you ultimately went with who? Do we even know yet? Have you given me a final answer? What's your final answer, Morgan Thomas?
Can I wait? Can we?
No, you wait. You want to wait till you see who wins now?
Yeah, let's do the. I'll tell you on Valentine's.
That's even better than just waiting until the game. You actually want to wait until you see who wins.
Well, like you said, if Matthew Stafford just goes out there and throws interceptions all day, I don't want to be a Rams fan.
Well, look, you're probably better off picking the Bengals because their future is brighter. Because I think the Rams are a one-and-done bunch. Whatever the outcome is, I think this is it for them. And I think they'll probably win. But, again, that depends on how charitable Matthew Stafford is. And he's a very philanthropic fellow. He loves to make in-game donations. So that's the danger of the game. Look, honestly, I think the Rams are the better football team, but I actually trust Burrow more than Stafford, which is insane when you think how young Burrow is. But look, Burrow has whatever you think about Burrow, he's got the right stuff. He has an it factor. These games are not too big for him. Nothing's been too big for him yet. There's not been a stage he's been on yet that has been too big for him. And I'm guessing this one won't be either. But, look, this dude was down 18 points to Kansas City in Arrowhead, and they won. Now, granted, a lot of it was Patrick Mahomes' doing more than it was Burrow's doing. It was really Mahomes playing terribly in the last half of the game, going back to the final 9 seconds of the first half, more than it was anything else. So there's that element. But okay, no, you got to pick one, Morgan, before the game. You got to pick one. We'll give you a little time. You have like another hour to hem and haw over it. So we'll get back to that. I'm gonna read you a list in a couple minutes. You're not gonna believe. Let me get Tiger Pal Rachel in here. Tiger Pal Rachel, what's going on, Rachel?
Hey, Walt. Glad you're back on the air.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you.
I'm glad you didn't get stranded for too long.
Yeah. The Vultures are really unhappy about my turnabout after the meds took their effect by Wednesday morning. I'm telling you, by Wednesday morning, I felt significantly better after all the high-powered meds I was given. The Vultures then took off, so they must have sensed it already. But too bad.
That's good. That's
right.
Good. So a couple of football things, and if we have time, a baseball thing.
Yeah.
So first of all, I was giving Morgan a hard time because he said he picked the Rams on Twitter, and I was like, so you're picking the Best Buy team because their uniforms look like Best Buy.
The Rams?
Yes, they're blue. They're bright blue and yellow uniforms look like they're the Best Buy team.
Right. That's over my head. I don't know anything about that.
Like the
I'm
store,
take
Best
your word
Buy.
for it, though.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I know. I get that,
Anyway.
Morgan. I don't recognize the team colors of Best Buy.
Anyway.
Can't pick a team, boy.
Let me ask you this. What's the better story? Matt Stafford being stuck on the terrible Lions for 10 years and now has a shot to win a Super Bowl, or Joe Burrow coming in, has that horrible injury last year. He takes the Bengals from the worst team 2 years ago. Now they're in the Super Bowl. He has the opportunity to become the first guy ever to win a Super Bowl, a national championship, and a Heisman. What's the better story there?
Well, first of all, I'm not all that enamored with the Matthew Stafford story. All right, I think Matthew Stafford has largely been carried to this point more than he's done any carrying. Too many pick sixes, too many awful decisions still. I mean, you even have ex-quarterbacks talking about the terrible decisions Stafford makes. I don't trust him at all, and so I don't feel all warm. I mean, look at the team the Rams bought and paid for. The Rams created this super team,
I agree with that.
and I think they're more carrying him. Now, is he capable of playing up in one game? Look, his weapons are unbelievable. I'm not so sure Jared Goff wouldn't be here with these same weapons. Most of what Goff had to work with was injured. I mean, Cooper Kupp was injured, for crying out loud. And then they went out and added more pieces, and guys like Von Miller and dressed it up even more. And Kupp is having an unbelievable year. So I think the Burrow story is the better story because it's, as you said, he came. Look, there were questions. His knee injury was severe. There were questions whether he would even play, and to come back and do what he's done. And granted, it's taken some luck, but it always takes some luck. I mean, listen, if Tennessee does the right thing on 3rd and 4th down, they win that game against Cincinnati, and Cincinnati's not even part of this conversation. Tennessee was driving to win the game when they just screwed up. I mean, just terrible play calling on 3rd and 4th down presented an opening. And then the same thing happened in Kansas City. I mean, the Chiefs can't lose that game. I mean, Patrick Mahomes turns into Santa Claus and just starts giving the game away. So, yeah, I mean, I think that Burrow is still the better story, but there's been a lot of luck involved with that story. Their margin of error not strong.
Right. And I think Burrow's a little more likable guy too, even if he did beat Clemson.
Do you?
See,
I think most people don't think that. Yeah, I think most people think he's a bit of an ass.
Well, maybe. I mean, I don't know him personally, but you got to be a little cocky to be able to win in that league.
Oh,
So, Oh. Okay. And what Morgan was saying about the Cowboys fans around here, I mean, I grew up with Cowboys fans. I'm a Panther fan now, and I still kind of like the Cowboys, but my grandpa
Same colors.
was a big Cowboys fan.
Apparently you pick them by the colors, too.
Well, Yankees are Navy as well. So.
Yeah. Also, it's a blue thing on today's show. It's a blue theme.
Yeah. My grandpa liked both teams, so that's what I grew up with. But I have a question for you, if you have a second, for the Major League Baseball lockout. Do we have any hope of that ending anytime soon? Because I thought about buying tickets for spring training, and then I was like, wait a minute, we don't even know if they're going to have it.
Look, honestly, Rob Manfred's an idiot, and Major League Baseball is so invincibly stupid. We're in almost a state of depression. I mean, we've been run amok with virus and all the ramifications of it, and gas prices and economic depression and everything else. And Major League Baseball thinks that this is a good time for a work stoppage lockout. I mean, it's insane. I don't know. What are you going to do? Usher in another steroid era and create more Sosas and Bonds after this to try and lure people back? Listen, your demographics already suggest you're a dying game. You cannot afford any work stoppage, any delay in spring training. You can't afford any of that stuff. And here's the worst part. You idiots have had over a year. Everyone knew this was coming. This should never have gotten to this point. This is, again, an organization that suffers from an absolute vacuum of leadership, just like the NCAA. And in the absence of leadership, this kind of nonsense happens. Because right-thinking people ought to be able to look around at what's going on in this country and say, this is not a good time for any of this.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, they're not thinking about that. They're not thinking about their numbers. And you mentioned the steroid thing. I mean, I read an article that
Rachel, I got to run, Rachel. I have to run. Call me tomorrow. I'll be back. Thank you. Engineered sleep. Listen, are you tired of being tired? Research shows adults need between 7 and 9 hours of sleep every night. Most don't. The number one reason given, a bad mattress. Sleep's the most important activity you do every day. It affects your mood, your energy, your productivity, and your health. 230,000 hours. That's how much time an average human spends sleeping in a lifetime. With over 100 years of experience, Engineered Sleep gives you a better mattress for a better price. All that means a better night's sleep. Every mattress has a 60-night trial and 10-year cover-it-all warranty. Use code WCCP for 10% off and 2 free pillows. Visit the showroom Monday to Saturday or set up a 15-minute virtual sleep chat online with an expert. Your very health depends on the quality of your sleep. Engineered Sleep has thrived in their short history for 2 simple reasons: trust and quality. Mattress sizes: twin XL, full XL, queen, king, cow king, adjustable beds as well. Visit the factory today, 627 Congreve Road in Greenville, or online at engineeredsleep.com to find out for yourself. Tell them I sent you. It's the way this deal works. You cut out the middleman. They've been doing it the right way for over 90 years. That's Engineered Sleep. Also, before we go to break, let me tell you about BetUS. Hey, listen, the Super Bowl is upon us. We're not even supposed to say those words, Ron. It's not even legal for us. We have to say like the Super Game or something. Listen up, sports bettors. Walt, Deptula here to tell you about my favorite sports book. That's BetUS. The Super Bowl is here. The ultimate betting extravaganza. All the prop bets, all the in-game betting, everything else. You can bet on everything from the amount of time it's going to take to sing the national anthem. By the way, who's singing the national anthem? I'll endorse one sports book. That's BetUS.com. Why, you ask? Because BetUS has been America's favorite sports book for over a quarter century. You need a sports book with integrity, longevity. You need to know that you're going to get paid. You need a sports book that offers everything, including live betting, MMA, golf, horses, esports, all kinds of crazy bets. Call today, 1-800-79-BET-US. That's 1-800-79-BET-US. They'll walk you through setting up an account. Nobody in the industry gives bigger bonuses than BetUS. Join now. Mention WCCP. You can get up to 200% in bonuses on your first deposit. Nobody beats that. I bet at BetUS. So should you. Go now to BetUS.com. Join BetUS.com today. And start betting with America's favorite sportsbook. That's BetUS.com, where the game begins.
If you're looking for a great set of tires, look no further than Pendleton Tire Company. They're now proud to offer exceptional tires by
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about the MLB lockout, but it looks like universal designated hitter has been approved. It seems like people are kind of back and forth on universal designated hitter. They've agreed to that at least. But as far as like other contractual things, they still haven't agreed to it. Like a competitive tax. I'm reading it now. I don't really know, but they got the first games are March 31st, and so I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be. It's not much time. I pull for Steve Smith. Anyone who cares about the Panthers today let a QB get punched in the jaw in the locker room, then cried at Richardson or whoever, then had all 4 receivers traded. I don't know anything about that situation. It sounds crazy, though. Somebody got punched in the locker room. LaFell won a Super Bowl with New England because of, I don't even remember his name, Scam Newton. Years ago, Morgan. Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, I remember Steve Smith playing. I remember obviously Cam Newton and then Richardson being the owner. I remember those days, but I don't remember that. I mean, I didn't really pay attention, but Tony Stewart slapped Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon was my grandmother's favorite driver. All right, I'm going to go use the restroom. I'll be back. Kyle Busch punched Kevin Harvick. Pepsi Max commercials with Jeff make him grandfather. You know, I haven't watched racing in so long.
I looked for trouble and I found it fun. Straight down the barrel of a lawman's gun. I try to run, but I don't think I can. You make one move and you're a dead man's friend. I ain't living long like this. I can't live it all like this. He slipped a handcuff on behind my back. Then let me breathing on a steel rail rack. I can't sleep at all.
Walt, Deptula Road Rage. We are back. I'm joined by my best friend Morgan Thomas and my friend Ramona Ellison, and we'll get to Clemson Dominates in 1 second. Have you made a decision yet, Morgan? I'm going to check periodically with you.
You know, I mean, I really
weren't you like a leader of some sales team or something? Weren't you like a head hunter? Do you have to make decisions, Morgan?
You know, that's why maybe it was in a past tense that I was that. I'm still, you know, I want to pick the Rams, but the yellow is what's getting me. The yellow. I don't know if I could pull for a team with yellow.
You almost
I don't like yellow.
You almost adopted a red team.
No, I don't think I was anywhere near close getting to the Chiefs. I like Patrick Mahomes. I like that he throws underhanded, you know, but other than that, that's about it.
Yeah, it worked out real well for him. Hey, did you guys see the story about the 3 old dudes who have attended every Super Bowl?
Man, that's a lot of money. That's got to be a lot of money.
One?
Yeah, every single one. And let me just see if I can. Let me see if I have this here somewhere, because I think I said, yeah. Here it is. Friends who have attended every Super Bowl. Portland, Maine. 3 friends who have attended every Super Bowl are hoping for a memorable contest this year because it will probably be their final trip to the big game as a group. The 3 men are all in their 80s, have attended every game since the first AFL-NFL World Championship game was held 55 years ago, about 7 miles from this year's venue, SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. They're meeting at the game once again this year, but future meetings are in question. Don Chrisman, a Maine resident, the eldest of the group at 85, said this is his last game. Gregory Eaton, 82, of Michigan, wants to keep attending, but said health concerns could get in the way. Even Tom Henschel, the football fanatic who spends the cold months in Florida, said that this Super Bowl figures to be his last. The far-flung friends use the Super Bowl to meet up, spend time together, and reminisce. But in recent years, they've come to grips with the fact it must come to an end one day, said Henschel, 80. I still think we have a few years left, but I'm going to make it to 60. But old man is catching up to all of us, he said. So these guys met originally and have gone to these Super Bowls together, met up from various parts of the country. You know the other thing here. 2 of these dudes are white, the other dude's black. And, why can we never get this right? These 3 guys have gotten it right for the entire time the Super Bowl has been going on. Best friends, meet up every year. I mean, it's an amazing story. To go to every single stinking Super Bowl, it's amazing. I give them all credit. I hope they make it to as many as they want. Maybe this will be the end, but I hope they get to witness a great game if that's the case. It's a pretty neat story. Thoughts, Morgan?
We could be friends like that if you wanted to.
No.
We could go. Oh wow, that was you don't even think about that. You could have at least taken the time it took for me to pick a team.
It just cuts you right down.
Ouch.
Yeah, I'm more decisive than you are, Morgan. I make my decisions quicker. By the way, there's so much madness while I've been away. It's just insane. The things that are going on in the world of sports. I better take care of some business. Let me tell you about my friends at Water Furnace. 864-735-8081. You call my guy Brian at Water Furnace. That's geothermal heating. That's the most advanced heating and cooling there is. It's just, And Waterford's the number one geothermal company in the country. There was only one drawback to geothermal because everyone knew it was better. The drawback was the initial cost because the coils need to be put under the ground. If you could somehow negate that, all you would derive are all the insane benefits because it's so much more energy efficient than a standard air source unit, because an air source unit is asked to do ridiculous things. That's to take 100-degree weather in the summer and turn it into 70 degrees. The temperature remains relatively constant below the ground, which is another reason geothermal is the most advanced heating and cooling. Here's the great news. The federal government recognizes this, and as such, they're giving you a 26% tax rebate. The state of South Carolina is giving you a 25% tax rebate. You're up now to 51% of the initial cost. Then the utility companies are kicking in. Blue Ridge is giving you $1,600 a ton. So if you employ a 4-ton unit, that's $6,400 more off. And now you're down near the cost of a regular heat pump, except you're going to derive all these insane benefits. The government rates geothermal systems at over 25 years life expectancy. The coil, the expensive part under the ground, is rated at 100 years. And then, on average, about 2/3 of your utility bill comes from heating and cooling. Of that 2/3, you're going to realize a 50 to 60% monthly savings on your utility bill. Geothermal is the way to go, and you don't have that monstrous airport-sounding unit outside your home either. It's just so much better, and real estate agents are recognizing that too. Call my friend Brian at Water Furnace, 864-735-8081, 864-735-8081. Morgan, I understand you've been studying up your NBA. We'll get to that in a minute, because there was a big trade executed today before the NBA trade deadline. It was really sort of a expensive dud for expensive dud trade that focused on James Harden and Ben Simmons. And we'll briefly discuss what that means, the ramifications of that. Meanwhile, Ramona, just madness ensued while I was gone. Alvin Kamara and his posse gets in a fight it wasn't really a fight, it was actually a beatdown of a dude while he was participating in the NFL Pro Bowl game out in Las Vegas. And Alvin Kamara is facing felony charges. We'll get to that. And then Kyler Murray withdrew all of his Arizona stuff from his social media platforms. He pulled down his all association with the Arizona Cardinals from all of his social media platforms. Pulled it down. Little Kyler Murray is stomping his little feet. He's unhappy. Look, little Kyler, he's stomping his little feet. He's unhappy about something. I don't know what dude wants. I mean, I'm not quite sure. I want to get to all these things. Did we say the show ends at midnight tonight? Clemson dominates. Clemson dominates. How are you? Clemson dominates. The man who predicted Cincinnati would win the division and get into the playoffs and all that stuff before the year. How are you, Clemson dominates?
Yeah.
Good to have you.
Real good, Walt. Yeah, and, just keep picking against Cincinnati because, you picked the Raiders to cover, and, of course, they didn't. And then you picked the Titans to beat them and the Chiefs to beat them. So just keep picking against them. It's going good so far.
Well, the funny thing is they probably should have lost all three of those games, but they didn't somehow.
But they got Evan McPherson 4 for 4 every single game.
That's true. I mean, the Raiders definitely should have beaten them. I mean, the Raiders outgained them by 100 yards and outplayed them and should have won the game. I mean, the Raiders
were behind the whole game. The Raiders never threatened to win that game. They were behind by
I don't agree with that. I mean, really, the Bengals have trailed much of the playoffs. I mean, they did lead Tennessee until Tennessee took over, and Tennessee should have beaten them. I mean, Tennessee had a 3rd and 1 and ran two of the dumbest plays from the 30-plus 32-yard line I've ever seen. And then, obviously, I don't know how you explain Kansas City. I mean, Kansas City was up 18, and Patrick Mahomes became, I don't know, his brother in the second half. Maybe it was his brother playing quarterback in the second half.
But before I get to the game, I got to say props to Rafael Nadal getting his 21st Grand Slam out of 63 career Grand Slam events. Djokovic is 20 for 66, and Federer's 20 for 81. So Nadal has a better win percentage, and people say, oh, well, he's won 13 of those on clay. Well, guess what? All those guys grew up in Europe playing on clay. So for him to dominate a surface where most of the top players in the world grew up playing on, to me it makes it even greater. And he's completed the career slam for a second time. So props to him. That match against Medvedev, the guy who beat Djokovic in the U.S. Open Finals, was an epic performance. So just props to him because he deserves it. And as far as the Super Bowl goes, I want to see a big game for T. Higgins. If people are looking for a good parlay on some prop bets, T. Higgins to score a touchdown is plus 175. Go over the yardage at 68.5 or whatever they have it at. And then the Bengals to win on the money line. It'll be a pretty decent little payoff.
Yeah. I mean, if they win the game, the money line, and look, I think most people expect a relatively close game, and Matthew Stafford is very philanthropic, so it's certainly possible. I mean, the Bengals may have an advantage at quarterback, so probably do. In fact, it's still the question that I think of the game is, can the Bengals offensive line handle the Rams defensive front, and what that will mean in the contest. I think the answer to that part is no. But maybe Burrow can handle it, as he did against Tennessee. You get sacked 9 times, you probably shouldn't win.
You can keep the running back in, though, to help out, and their running backs are good at helping pick up blocks. So that's one thing you can do. And, he got sacked 9 times against Tennessee, and when they got the ball back with 20 seconds left, he just stepped right up and he didn't flinch. That's the thing you got to get.
Well, you would agree, though, right, that the Rams' offense is far more explosive than Tennessee's?
Yeah, but they're more inconsistent, too. Against Tennessee earlier this year, they only scored 3 points. They've had their inconsistencies. Yeah. Against the 49ers, they couldn't even break 20. What? Did they even get 20 points? Yeah, I don't even think they got 20 points.
Well, the 49ers defense is pretty elite. Probably has the best personnel in the NFL, other than quarterback. But
the Bengals are very underrated, though. Especially the run game. DJ Reader is PFF ranks him as like the top run the stopper in the NFL, and he's been consistent all season and helping to stop the run. So if they can't run and they make them one-dimensional, that'll definitely help Cincinnati's cause. So, people just keep underrating them, and, plus Cincinnati has a lot of big play potential as well.
Yeah. Look, I didn't underrate them before the year. I thought they would be a vastly improved team, not as improved as you thought they would be. But I did not think they would win any of these playoff games, and quite honestly, I'm not sure how they have won them. I think they've been on a little bit of a magic carpet ride, and maybe that continues for one more game, or maybe midnight strikes, which is what I'm thinking happens. But we'll see. So as you said, I've gone against them and been proven wrong somehow, and again, some of it almost seems like magic, but. Or sorcery, because I'm still not sure how they came back against Kansas City, other than Kansas City just donated the game to them. Let's be honest. 9 seconds left in that first half. Kansas City does anything that they're supposed to do, the game ends there. But it didn't. So you keep giving teams chances, and you play as badly as Mahomes did. And look, you give Cincinnati some credit defensively for some of that, I guess. But they're on a roll somehow. They're on a roll. They're finding ways to win.
Walt, get ready for. It's going to be for the next decade because they're so young.
Oh, I
think
they'll get better.
$60 million under the cap. Yeah,
I think really
the only major weakness they have is the offensive line, and they can easily address that through the draft and the free agency. So
yeah, I don't disagree with any of that, but I don't think they're going to be the only elite AFC team either. And that's going to be I think Buffalo is going to be a problem for everybody.
Buffalo.
Yep.
Buffalo, the Chargers, it's going to...
Maybe even more than Kansas City. Kansas City might start to fade to black. Hey, Clemson Dominates, I got to run. Good talking to you. Quick break. We'll be right back. I'll be joined by, again, Morgan Thomas, and we'll get Darren on the other side.
Join Out of Bounds live at Buff City Soap in Greenville, Friday, February 11th from 12 to 3. Enjoy free Papa John's pizza, 20% off everything in the store, and you can meet Kelly and me.
Buck City Soap Greenville, located in the shops at Greenbridge on Woodruff Road.
If you're like me, you're ready to get out on the lake. It's Brad from the Press Box, and I invite you to join me at Clemson Marina this Saturday from 11 to 2 for their Big Splash event.
Dirt
See
track
the latest
racing,
boats,
NASCAR
enjoy the Saturday,
racing, Dale
Clemson Marina.
Earnhardt.
We've all been
That'll be
there.
so
Rushing
funny.
to the restroom in a public place and bam.
I don't think
you're
we're
hit
going to
with
get
that
into
out of
any
order.
racing talk.
Business
That's
owners
for
know
sure.
this story all too well. Don't let this be your patron's problem. Leave it to the plumbing experts. Timing is everything in the business world, and you don't want to lose business because your customers can't do theirs. Call the plumbing experts for maintenance or unexpected plumbing issues. They've got your back. Visit theplumbingexperts.com to schedule your next appointment.
Granger Nissan of Anderson is not only home of the lifetime warranty, but the winner of the Nissan Award of Excellence for 3 years in a row. Granger Nissan is here to serve the upstate with excellent service and competitive pricing. With the largest selections of Nissans in the upstate, Granger Nissan is sure to have what you need in stock and ready to drive off the lot today. Granger Nissan of Anderson at 3510 Clemson Boulevard, only 25 miles from Greenville, and always online at GrangerNissanofAnderson.com.
Here at My Garage by Essex, we perform minor to major repairs on your European, Asian, and domestic vehicles. We make sure to treat our customers' vehicles as if they are our own, because that is how it should be. We stay up to date on the latest in technology and equipment. Rest assured that when you drop off your vehicle, My Garage will make sure everything is done to get you out and on the road again with care. Visit My Garage on 551 Old Greenville Highway or give us a call at 864-633-5800.
Yeah, I guess dirt tracks are coming a thing of the past. I'm going to have to do something else because... Here, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to call it on the phone.
That's 864-403-5263 or online at candycanfixit.com.
It's a new year, so why not give yourself a new you with Roosters? Roosters Men's Grooming Center has everything that you need to feel refreshed and ready for 2022. Barbershop has everything you need to look your best. Call 864-884.
Can you guys hear that?
.com to see more of the services they provide. Roosters Grooming Men's Center, located on
I was
Pelham
doing
Road
it.
in Greenville.
I was doing it through the other system, the computer, and it just keeps kicking me off like every 35 minutes or so. So I'm gonna have to. I'm basically like setting my phone up now, so I just have to deal with it this way. Sorry, guys. The Google Voice or whatever I was using was messing up.
Call Brian Harden at 735-8081. Water Furnace, your reliable renewable.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about the wait, ma'am. I'll be with you shortly. Carrie, how many appointments did you book at 2:30?
Okay. All right, so let's call Brian Brissy up, see how he's doing. It's true. So I don't know much about the NBA, to be honest with you. Walt's mentioning he's going to mention the NBA. I'm a little bit nervous about it. I know that the big trade was James Harden to Philadelphia, Ben Simmons to Brooklyn. So the Brooklyn Nets received Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, not Steph Curry.
Your home for Clemson women's basketball. 105.5 and 97.5. We are the Roar, where every day is game day.
Let this be a lesson to you, girl. Don't come around where you know you don't belong. They're riding on the avenue, they're probably coming after you, and they all look mean and strong. Mean and strong like liquor. Mean and strong like beer.
Walt, Deptula, Road Rage. We'll get right back to my best friend, Morgan Thomas, and my other best friend, Ramona Ellison, in 1 minute. Before we do any of that, let me tell you about my other best friend, David Green. And David Green will be your best friend if you have any sort of issue with the IRS. In fact, he'll be the only friend that matters, because I don't think anyone's had a good experience with the IRS. You don't really want to hear from the IRS. And if you're going through life worried about something, thinking that you're the only one who's done whatever it is you believe yourself to have done, you're wrong. A million other people have done it. You just need to know where to go for the answer. Stop living in fear of your mailbox. That's not a natural fear. Look, you have an issue with the IRS. It's a personal issue. David Green is the guy to call. David Green, who's a Clemson grad, has been dealing with the IRS for over 20 years. David has great relationships with local and national IRS agents. He'll quickly find you the right solution, whether they put liens on your property, garnish your wages, whether you have an audit coming up. David will find you the right solution. David understands the Fresh Start program. He'll use this IRS program to your best advantage. Listen, the Green Law Firm can't change your past, but they can absolutely change your future. Get the peace of mind and results you're entitled to from the local law firm that's been helping hundreds of folks in the upstate for over 20 years. The professional staff at the Green Law Firm can do it all. Do yourself a big favor. Stop by their office today, 11 McGee Street in Greenville, for a free strategy session. Free. Call them for a free session. 271-7940, 271-7940. Tell them I sent you. That's how this deal works. Or on the web at greenlaw.legal. That's green, G-R-E-E-N-E, greenlaw.legal. Hey, Ramona, so far so good, right?
Yeah.
I did sort of cough a lung out on the ground during the last break.
Well, as long as you do it during the break.
Right, during the break.
You know, pick it up and stuff it back in.
And I'm tempting fate because I'm sort of feeling it coming on as I'm saying it. I shouldn't have been talking about it. You know, and I'm gonna get back to more. I guess say this. Texter 222 writes this, Ramona. Always good to hear you back, Walt. You have a huge impact, which is not just sports, on people. I get to listen to some of the national people when I work out because of the sports gurus. I get away from the warm-up machines as quick as possible. You have a comprehensive, knowledge-driven, fun program. Occasionally you're wrong, such as Bengals 31, Lambs 24, Texter 222. Very kind of you. You know, Ramona, you know, I mentioned that for this reason.
Uh-huh.
You know, I always think, like, all I do is host a sports talk show. I don't view myself as having any real job of importance in the world. I don't. You know, people do real things. You know, teachers and nurses and policemen and firemen and doctors and, you know, these kinds of things. And what I do is I try and, you know, educate someone in sports, entertain some here in the afternoon, but I don't think of it that way. But I never think of myself that way. And then I'm gone for a few days, and I get these letters and emails from people who are saying, you know, and you don't realize the effect you sometimes have on people. Like, I had a lot of vets write me while I was gone saying that I get them through their days and things like that. I don't ever think of it that way, but I know this. If there are people out there like that, I owe them my best every day. And so from 3 to 7 on this program every day, I try and bring it to you for that very reason. I'm appreciative of every one of you who listens and responds. You know, yeah, we have some fights and arguments, but they're in the broader sense. You know, I did that with my brother. You get over it in 2 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate each and every one of you, and if I mean that much to people like you, then that's legitimate responsibility that I take seriously. So I give you my best. And I appreciate the kind words. Thank you. And thank you, John. Thank you, Justin, too. Thank you very much. Hey, Mo, Justin in Dacresville says, glad to hear you back on, Walt, although you do sound like you smoked 2 packs of bong. Hey, Justin, trust me, on Tuesday, I sound like a dead man. I mean, I'm telling you, when I called Ben Milstead, this is what happened. I called him Tuesday, say I'm not coming, and I heard myself, I heard the word Ben come out of my mouth, and then I tried to say a bunch of other words, and then I think like 7 or 8 word tries later, there was some other audible sound. By that point, you got the idea. You know, there was actually no real communication. All right, Morgan. I said thank you, Walt. You're the man. No, you're the man. You're the men. You're the women. I appreciate each and every one of you. Morgan, did you see this deal with Alvin Kamara?
You know, first of all, my letter was private, Walt. I didn't really want you telling him, but you know, when it's Thursday night, you say my best friend Morgan's coming up next with the Morgan Thomas show, and I have people when you're out, they'll text me. No, that didn't happen. I don't remember that. But I have people text me, say, "Hey, what's wrong with Walt? We're seeing the national stuff. It's 4:00, and I'm on my way home from the shift." And I'm like, "What am I supposed to know? He doesn't even take me to the Super Bowl." I mean, but
that's good.
I didn't see the Alvin Kamara thing. I did see the Kyler Murray thing that you were telling me about. It's got this new age, and I know I do a show on social media, so it's kind of like, can I really say anything? But this new age of social media and like deleting all of your photos, I'm sorry, maybe I'm too old school, but it's kind of childish to me. I don't understand. And like you said, maybe he just wants out of his division because it's probably the hardest division out there. But I don't know. I wouldn't personally.
It makes you seem like sort of a loser, though. I mean, I'm like a Kyler Murray guy. I don't get it. I mean, first of all, okay, I know they got off to a great start. I know the season didn't go well at the end, but he was without Nuke Hopkins for most of that. And that's a big part of the reason. Yeah, you lose a weapon like him, you're probably gonna struggle a little. But so what do you want to do now? Honestly, based on some of what you're hearing, it almost sounds like he wants to go be the Tampa Bay quarterback now. Well, good luck. Good luck being better there. I guess maybe based on the state of the division now, since there's really no quarterbacks left other than Matt Ryan. I mean, maybe that's what you do. I don't know, but I mean, he honestly, when I saw him the other day, Ramona, he's diminutive. He's diminutive. When I saw him the other day with like the pouting thing over this, he looked more diminutive to me. And already he was like one spin of the roulette wheel away from being a little person. I mean, I'm just sorry, that's the way it is. And now he's like pounding his little feet because he's unhappy about something. I don't know. You just go play baseball then. I'm really sick of it. We'll find out where he's up. I mean, but it doesn't sound like he wants to come back. And then the Alvin Kamara thing. Alvin Kamara, listen to this for a moment. Alvin Kamara is in Vegas for the Pro Bowl. I'm behind, aren't I, Ramona? I'm behind. I better tell you about some business. We'll get back to this. Let me tell you about my friends at Gilstrap Roofing. Look, Gilstrap is where you go. Gilstrap has helped almost everybody at this radio station with some sort of roofing issue, and they've helped many of you. I get unsolicited testimonials all the time. Gilstrap's been covering the upstate for 4 generations. They're the most experienced. They have the best ratings and reviews. Gilstrap Roofing is the upstate's go-to for quality roofs, storm damage, roof replacement, roof repair. Gilstrap does it all. They work with an experienced team of roofers who specialize in shingle roofs, metal roofs, flat roofs for residential, commercial, industrial customers. Their dedication to complete customer satisfaction is the reason why a large portion of our business comes from previous customers and referrals. If you're looking for a full-service roofing contractor that has extensive experience, is fully licensed, bonded, insured, look no further than Gilstrap Roofing, the Gilstrap difference. They've been serving the upstate and Midlands since 1935, family-owned and operated across 4 generations, A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau, fully licensed, bonded, and insured, full-service roofing contractor, extensive experience with hail damage and wind damage claims, 5-year workmanship warranty for all full roof replacements. It's Gilstrap Roofing, 864-269-1232, 864-269-1232, or online, excuse me, at gilstraproofing.com, gilstraproofing.com, and you will thank me later. Also, before we get a break, let me tell you about my friends at First Class Halt. Halt's an acronym that stands for Honda, Acura, Lexus, Toyota. No one does it like First Class Halt. They're the absolute best in the industry. They've been doing it the right way since, excuse me. Yeah. See, I did speak too soon a moment. No one does it like Halt, though. Even with an oil change, you don't get this kind of service anywhere. About the Marlboro, Ramona. I need the cough button. There it is. Now I find it. You know, here's what we're going to do. Yeah, we're going to take a quick break, and I'll tell you about First Class Halt on the other side. And we'll get back to that. Stretch it. Well, I'm coughing my lung out. Sorry, Mom. Take a break.
WCCT-FM 105.5.
All right, so they go into break here. Let me get back in the chat. Christopher Jones says, I hope by hearing DJ has been at these camps, that means he's putting in the work to turn around the upcoming season. I mean, I'm hearing that he's already lost 10 pounds and he's going even more. And the BBB, Triple B over here saying that, Bible Belt's over here saying that, you know, he's at the Weight Watchers meetings. Krusty says he will for 2 reasons. One, if he don't, he'll be benched. If he's benched, he's not going to be drafted. Who cares what he does? Because it will fix itself. Yeah, I agree. I think it's make or break for him. It's not really our worry. I mean, Clemson's now got like 7 quarterbacks to choose from. Last year they had 1. Now they got 7. Scott says, I watched an interview Dabo gave on or after signing day. He would update soon on any injury progress approaching spring. Just didn't catch. Christopher Jones, Morgan, I'm a Chicago Bears fan in the NFL and Clemson fan in college. NBC Sports in Chicago was talking about DJ and Justin Fields at quarterback camp together, said DJ threw a dime. I mean, I think he can throw 1 dime. My biggest thing is those hitch plays, you know, where the you know, they're not open. They're not open and you got to still throw it. That's my biggest concern with him is, can he do those things? I don't know. I really don't. He needs to lose weight. If he has lost the 10 pounds, then that's great. He needs to lose. I said he needs to lose 25. He needs to be 222 for 22. That's what my thought is. 222 for 22. Yeah, I mean, Krusty, I'm with you. I mean, I'm not opposed to calling him out. I mean, players, I eventually believe that college players are going to get paid. They're going to be on contract. They're getting NIL deals based off of picking a certain team. So, people are like, oh, don't pick on them. They're just college players. No, I'm definitely going to say something because it's not the good old days anymore. You know what I mean? These guys are definitely getting paid. They're definitely coming to teams because of that. And so, to me, it's the mini NFL, just just worse because it's not as structured. I'm looking at this Alvin Kamara thing. Video surveillance shows New Orleans Saints running back Alvin Kamara punching a man approximately 8 times before Kamara. Here, let me do this so I can hear it. Approximately 8 times before Kamara's associates proceeded to stomp him several more times on the ground in a Las Vegas casino Saturday morning. According to the police report, Kamara was later taken into custody, interviewed by police, then arrested and charged with battery and resulting in substantial bodily harm. Posted bail Sunday night. Man who was knocked unconscious sustained an orbital fracture to his right eye, among other injuries. Police said the video surveillance matched the man's account. The man said that he started a conversation with one of the members of the group of people while waiting for an elevator as he was leaving the Cromwell Casino at the nightclub in Las Vegas about 6:30 a.m. When the elevator doors opened, the man started to walk towards the elevator along with a large party. But a man later identified as Kamara put his hands on the victim's chest and stopped him. The man said he pushed Kamara's hand off his chest, and Kamara pushed back hard enough to cause the man to stumble back. Afterwards, the man recalled being hit. The man recalled being hit and kicked multiple times, losing consciousness. The man was speaking to a woman before the events occurred. And after Kamara pushed the man, one of the Kamara's associates punched the man. Then Kamara lunged towards the man, punched him approximately 8 times, including 3 times after he had fallen on the ground. 3 others, Kamara's group, then began stomping the man's face, chest, and legs. One of Kamara's associates stomped him about 16 times, according to the police report. The incident broke up once security arrived. The Kamara and his parties were escorted out of the property.
Walt, Deptula Road Rage, we are back. Ramona, now that I've coughed the other lung out, my coughing should actually be over for the day because, in theory, I should be dead. I'm back to the vultures. Maybe the vultures will be waiting for me by the time I get home. Tess says, love you, Walt. I'm a pharmacist. You get me through the last 3-4 hours of my work day. That means a lot to me. It really does. I appreciate that because I so many of you people, do real important work. And all I do is try and entertain people here for 4 hours a day. But I have a responsibility. It's clear, and I take that seriously. Hey, let me. Speaking of taking seriously, let me go back and see if I can actually tell you about First Class Alt, where I almost died and leaving off. But hey, listen, no one does it better than they do. They just don't. I get unsolicited testimonials on these people all the time. All the time. People write, they call, you hear it. And, and I know some of you probably go someplace now and you think, well, it's not bad, it's not awful, it's not great, but it's serviceable. Stop settling for serviceable. We settle too much. There's no reason to settle. Expect the best. Expect better than you're getting. That's what you get at First Class Alt. As the name implies, you get first-class service, honest service, real people who treat you the way you should be treated. And they're experts. It's all they do. All their techs have 15 to 35 years of experience. None of them are involved in commissions. You can understand the avenue for abuse that opens up. It's not a good practice, and they don't do that at First Class Alt. First Class Alt, they'll never do any work you don't need. They'll never do any work you don't authorize. This is who they are. The marketing staff are incredible. So go find out what comes with a simple oil change at First Class Alt. Try that. Try that kind of service, and you'll find out. February specials right now, all locations, free tire protection plan, $49.95 value. The Cherrydale and Anderson location, only, BOGO free, buy one, get one free, alignment free when you purchase 4 tires from First Class Alt. 50% off Hunter Road Force tire balance. That's at the Cherry Dale and Anderson location only. Now only $49.95. And all locations, $100 off any Honda, Acura, Lexus, Toyota timing belt package. Book now. You'll thank me later. And again, go see them at the brand new Cherry Dale location, 3050 North Pleasantburg Drive. All right. The lines are completely jammed. So, Morgan Thomas, you with me, Morgan?
I'm with you.
All right. Let's take some phone calls, Morgan. Let's let some of the peeps in. Joe is up first. Joe, how are you?
Hey, man. Thanks for taking the call.
Thanks for getting in, Joe.
I was just going to ask you about just quarterbacks real quick for the NFL draft class.
Yeah, they suck.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's terrible news for us. But, you know, honestly, Walt, I really think me, you, anybody can just come off the street and maybe not throw as many interceptions as Interception McGee. You know, he's getting paid a lot of money to throw interceptions, but he's good at that. He's not really good at throwing touchdowns. Like, we got to do something about the quarterback position. I don't like Willis, the Liberty quarterback. I really don't. I don't really see a lot of potential in that. Like, I know he has arm strength, but I don't know, Walt. I don't think he's a first-round draft pick. I'll just be honest. I don't. Like, there's just not a lot to like about him, in my opinion.
But, well, look, Willis is the most talented of the bunch. He has the highest ceiling. He also has the lowest floor. I view him as boom bust. Pickett has the most experience. You know, and I know everyone wants to compare Pickett to Burrow. I don't know. I'm not ready to make that comparison. And, you know, and I can tell you something else. That whole hand size thing is, in sports, is frequently overblown. Burrow has tiny hands and yet has succeeded. But Pickett's hands are not tiny hands. They're historically tiny hands. They're like little toy Mr. Potato Head hands. He has tiny little hands. And they're not just tiny by like normal standards. He has some of the smallest hands ever measured in the history of football at the position. I mean, his hands, and again, the way you measure your hand is you stretch your thumb and pinky out side to side, just put on a flat surface and push down. He's measuring 8.25 or less. That's insanely small hands. And for people who think that doesn't matter, you don't understand football. It means he fumbles a lot. And he's fumbled a lot his whole career in Pittsburgh, which is why he wears those 2 gloves. This is not just a problem for his girlfriend. He has tiny hands. Dude has tiny little hands. And that's a dilemma. That's a real life dilemma. Now, you know, I don't know where he's going to go and play, but he fumbles collegiately. His career is filled with fumbles. So I'm concerned about that. I just am. I'm sorry. That is a real life issue for Kenny Pickett as he moves to the National Football League.
What about?
I don't like any of it.
Any upside on Strong?
Not enough. No. Look, honestly, you know, I'll tell you the truth, Joe. I don't view any of these guys as round 1 quarterbacks. I just don't. Now, they're going to be taken, probably 3 of them, but maybe more. But I don't view any of them as round 1 talents. These are guys who are going to be forced up based on a need. But personally, I think they're all round 2 or beyond. Let me put it this way. I would rank 5 guys from last year's draft higher than any quarterback in this year's draft.
Oh, man. So we're going to be in the wilderness for a little bit.
I think, you know what? I honestly think you're better off with Darnold. I think, you know, you can only fix so many things. The defense needed fixing first. You'll get J.C. Horn back. I think you fix the offensive line, you know, and see if that fixes Darnold. The offensive line is a disaster.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, well, that's a rosy picture there. You got first of all. Just one plug. You know, you need a good mechanic, folks. I took my wife's car to a dealership on Christmas Day. The bottom of the flash pan, you know, that underneath the where you pull the oil out, popped it off while we're going down the highway.
Wow!
They didn't put the bolts in.
Wow!
I had to jury rig it with a bunch of jump ties. So that's what I did on Christmas night. So appreciate it, Walt.
Thank you, Joe. There's another reason to get to first class halt. Morgan, this quarterback class, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of any of them, honestly.
Yeah, if I was a Panthers fan, which they are blue, but I'm not. But if you're looking for a quarterback, I'm really, to me, and you know the draft better than, majority of these experts out here, and you do an amazing draft show on night. I can't wait for that. But I will say, I'm looking through this list. I do like. Obviously Willis is probably one of the better ones, but you're like picking the best of the average or the worst. I don't even know what you would even say. I'm definitely not taking Howell. Ritter's, he's kind of like a baseball guy. Matt Corral.
But you know what? Ritter might actually wind up being the best of this whole group because Ritter is almost, he's 6'3.5". I forget exactly what he measured, but he has a live arm. I think he has athletic ability. I think he can extend plays. He's very experienced. He's played a lot of college football. That matters as he transitions to the pro level. There are things he needs to get better at, but I would feel okay about taking an early round 2 shot at Desmond Ritter if I need a quarterback. Maybe even better than I'd feel about taking a shot at round 1 at some of these other guys because I just don't believe in them. There's no legitimate round 1 quarterback in this draft. We're to force Pickett up to the range of like number 11 or 12 if people can actually bypass the hand thing. But keep in mind, in the game itself, it rained and he struggled. He struggled, and he has every time the weather's been bad. He doesn't even throw a football normally. He has his hand at the back of the ball because it's narrower. And so, I'm sorry. If people don't think that's a real thing, it is a very real thing, and it's a problem in National Football League. I can say right now, Kenny Pickett's going to be a fumbler his whole career. He just is. So if you think it's okay to have a fumbler at quarterback in the NFL who's going to fumble once a game, then he's your guy because I'm sort of down on him, quite honestly. And if there are teams who want to take him first amongst these quarterbacks, I understand it. But that's the dilemma. The dilemma is that none of these guys are legitimate round 1 guys. They're just not. 5 guys. I would take Mac Jones before I take any of these guys. And I take all the other quarterbacks from last year's draft, Trevor, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, all of those guys way before I would take any of these guys. But every draft, because of need, we force guys up. And we force guys up into this 10-11 range who have no business being at 10-11. And I'm sorry, Kenny Pickett has no friggin' business being at 10 or 11. He just doesn't.
Yeah, what pick are the Panthers? If they're that high, if they're in the top 10, which I'm assuming they are, I would almost just trade. Would you not just trade that and get more pieces and just wait?
I think they have to fix their offensive line, Morgan. And it's a really strong offensive line draft, particularly at the top. You're almost guaranteed to get an elite guy. That offensive line is just flat garbage. They fix their whole defense, and they'll get J.C. Horn back, who was really a great pick. He just got injured. And that defense could really be elite in a division where there's suddenly no quarterbacks, where Matt Ryan is suddenly the best quarterback in the division. So that defense will look even better next year. And I think what you try to do is give Darnold some hope or some help and give him another chance, because I honestly don't think anybody in this draft's better than him. And that's a big worry on my part, because I don't like him at all, and didn't at draft time when he was selected.
Yeah, I know we talked about that was the experiment, is how was he do leaving the Jets? Was it maybe just that he was with the Jets and not really him? But, you know, and even still, I didn't really like, I know so many people pick on me about this, but I mean, Joe Brady's a guy who's just followed the best quarterback. We know, I mean, he doesn't seem to me like he's had enough resume to prove that he could last. And, you know, I still think that was an experiment and a stretch, in my opinion. A lot of people said Clemson should pick him up after Tony Elliott left. And I think that I was completely against that, too. He's too much of a unknown for me, with not a good track record of over time of, you know, developing quarterbacks. He's had great quarterbacks. He was under Drew Brees. He was under Joe Burrow, and you know, then he got into this, and without Christian McCaffrey, which is what normally happens with the Panthers, he wasn't a very good offensive coordinator, in my opinion.
Look at the guys he was coaching. They're all like the best young players in the league. Burrow and Jefferson and Chase. These guys are all like record-setting. They're all, you know, one of them's going to lead his team to two of them are going to play in the Super Bowl. You know, so no, that Joe Brady was always given way too much credit, because any tomato can could have unleashed that talent. Hey, Walt Deptula here to talk about the health there. The health there has been reversing symptoms of type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol, IBS, and sleep apnea since 2015. It's so easy that Nikki lost 60 pounds in a wheelchair. Lenny's A1C went from 15 to 5 in just 90 days. You can eat all the things you like. They promise results in 30 days or your money back. Right now, it's buy one, get one free. So go to iDearMe.com to book your free consultation today. That's iDearMe.com, or call 1-877-I-DARE-ME. Do it today. Take your life back. You know, Ramona, there's a line. There's a line from a health care spot that we run on air. This is what that line says. And I was thinking about this line today. If you need to be scared into this, listen to this line. Belly fat is wrapped around your internal organs. Belly fat is wrapped around your internal organs. Call the health care today. Get your health back. 1-877-I-DARE-ME. You'll thank me later. Quick break. I know the lines are jammed. We're coming to you.
Valentine's Day is upon us, and you know, your team at Reed's Jewelers will make sure you find what you want for your loved ones. From diamonds for her to watches for him. Reed's Jewelers, upstairs in Haywood Mall, next to Bell. Endorsed by Roar listeners like Zeke.
I'm calling in for one of your sponsors, man. Wally over there at Reed's Jewelers. Go check him out. They'll get you what you need. If not, he'll find it, and he will definitely take care of you.
Zeke loves Reed's Jewelers. You will as well. Reed's Jewelers, Haywood Mall, next to Bell. Online at Reed's.com.
It's a new year, and I've got one piece of advice for you. If you're still belly aching about being fat, being tired, and not performing when it counts, you need to get up off that couch and book an appointment at Low Country Mail today. TRT plans start at $220 a month and include testosterone, labs, medication, and doctor visits. We offer weight loss plans, peptide plans, and IV therapy. Stop making excuses and take action. Lord knows the world doesn't need any more beta males.
All right, I'm back. Krusty, you're hilarious. I mean, I would love to say no criminal charges, all civil. We'll see. We'll see what happens. You know, we'll see what happens. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I was a Texans fan. I followed him, but what are we really doing? What are we really doing? Can you really count on him? I don't know, man. I really don't. Oh, baby. Softball game live streaming. He wants to leave, then every masseuse in Houston shows up. I agree. I'm not against that. I'm really not. You know, I'm not saying you're wrong. But I mean, can you really say that he's going to come to the Panthers? Do you want him, Krusty? Do you want him to come to the Panthers? That's my question.
Clemson for the Clemson fan.
Walt, did you know that 3 friends have attended every... You could be friends like that. No. I was actually going to start going to back to Panthers games. Yes, I traveled, watch him wherever. That man is my Batman. I mean, he's good. I hate that he's not been able to play. And I agree. It seemed kind of interesting that he all of a sudden, you know, stopped playing, or all this stuff happened when he wanted to leave. Tiger Paw Craven, we're still on the air. I'm going to be on the air with Walt until 7. And then I'm going to watch the softball game because that's what we call a setup, yeah. I'm in DW4 corner all the way. I only want what's best for him to get out of Houston. If that's what he wants, I'll pull for him no matter where he goes. Me too.
Are 105.5 and 97.5 The Roar. Providing high-speed fiber to homes and businesses, Upcountry Fiber is a stronger connection. The Upstate Sports Authority.
This is incredible.
We are 105.5 and 97.5.
Give him a lot of credit. He got that left arm underneath the ball.
Where every day is game day. We are The Roar.
If you miss the train I'm on, then you'll know that I have gone. You can hear the whistle blow 100 miles. 100 miles, 100 miles, 100 miles, 100 miles. You can hear.
Walt, Deptula Red Rage, we are back. A couple things. First of all, again, good win for the Clemson Lady Tigers today. The softball gets underway today at 7, and men's basketball against Duke at 8 as Clemson tries to rebound from a tough defeat at home at the hands of the Tar Heels. And by the way, you know, I said I was like in a coma then. And so, Morgan, you back with me? I'm coming to you guys on the phone.
I'm with you.
I was in a coma, and honestly, I had, for the first time ever, I missed the Clemson basketball game completely. No idea. I mean, I knew it was being played, but by the time it was played, I didn't care. I didn't know if I was going to be alive the next day. So I didn't see the game until today. I watched it this morning, and I still can't believe the end of that game. First of all, you know, there was an exchange of offensive fouls called on both big men with about a minute to go. And I thought the P.J. Hall call was weak. I get he wasn't set, but he didn't really screen anybody. It wasn't really I mean, I guess technically you could have called it, but you really had to search that out to call that. Now, on the hoop he scored to tie the game, he probably did use his off arm to clear space, and they could have called that one. But the amazing part of it is, you know, and this is where the bad luck comes in. You don't have Hunter Tyson, and he is just, his value is so clear, and this team suffers so much in his absence. He's a leader on this team. He plays well on both ends. He rebounds out of his area. He shoots the three. He does all these things. He provides court spacing because you've got to guard him out at the three-point line. And Clemson doesn't have another 6'8" guy like that. So he's an enormous loss. And you just can't make that up. And, you know, I mean, I think it's pretty clear. You have him, you win that game. But he's not available, so you do what you can. But the worst part about it, the part that just sucks out loud, is you get beat by friggin' Caleb Love. I mean, Caleb Love hasn't beaten anybody since, like, high school. And he's got to save it up for you? I mean, look, I know you're a little late getting out on the three by Love. But, honestly, I'd give Caleb Love that shot all year long and expect him to hit it like 1 out of 50 times, and then he has to hit it against you. And then at the end of the game, you know, he drives down the lane. You have a situation where Chase Hunter thinks that he's going to face a high ball screen, but it's really sort of a fake of a high ball screen by Brady Manick, but it gives Hunter a little bit of pause, and I think it slows him a step. It allows Love to sort of blow by him down the lane. Hunter recovers, though, and his athleticism prevents Love from laying it up because Hunter's going to reject it. So Love actually winds up going under the rim and then flips it back out to Manick, who lays it in. And Collins, who'd been really good, and he's the guy who drew the charge on Baycott, he loses Manick in that situation, and Manick lays it in. Because that was Collins' man. He lost sight of his man and allowed him to go down the lane and catch that ball. And Collins has been great, but he wasn't great in that one situation. Really a difficult loss for a team that played hard under man. And P.J. Hall continues to do P.J. Hall things. You know, it's really unbelievable that P.J. Hall has scored double figures, Morgan, in 22 consecutive games, and he's done a lot of it playing injured.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's been so great, and he really, you can tell he studied under Amir Sims, and he actually came out recently on a podcast and just gave a lot of props to Amir Sims for being that leader. You know, it was very important that Sims came back and taught the next level, the next group. He wanted to play with PJ Hall to teach him, how to play at the next level. And man, it's just, I almost feel like he's doing even better. I mean, than Sims was when he was, a senior. So Hall is definitely shining and doing great. With Tyson out, it hurts. And I know a lot of people on my timeline and my feed on Twitter, where was Hall at the very end? You talked about that play where Collins got kind of, caught napping and Hall was sitting on the bench with 4 fouls. I don't know, man. I feel like you just leave him out there. He's your best player by far.
Well, they're trying to play offense, defense a little bit, but look, I don't have a problem with the results. I mean, I think they gave everything they could, and I think there were a couple defensive breakdowns, but Hall's not only your best player, as I've said, I think he's the best player to play at this school in 20 years. I think that when he comes back next year and you get a healthy one more year experience. Look, before the year, I said I thought he'd go to 15-7 this year, and people thought I was crazy. I think he's right at 15-7. But I think next year he's 20-10. I think he's first team all league and maybe the best big man in this part of the country. I think he's that good. So I still think the future is bright. But when you're Clemson and you lose a Hunter Tyson, it's a big deal. You don't have a. But I think Shefflin played well, and I expect him to. I think he'll get the next start, and that'll be tonight. And I look for him to continue to play well. Shefflin has skills. He's a skilled 6'7" guy. Hey, let me make a special allowance here because we have Carrie Beth Childress, Mark's wife, who wants to call in about Coach K, which is always one of my favorite topics. Carrie Beth, great to have you, Carrie Beth. Appreciate you getting in.
Hey, Walt. How are you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm on the way to the basketball game to meet Faxon. I have a cute Coach K story that Mark said I needed to share with you.
All right.
I don't think it's going to sway you, but my dad went to Clemson. He was a big basketball guy. Scored so many points in the intramural games that the basketball coach came to his dorm room, asked him to walk on twice. He didn't think he was good enough. Then Coach Willem came to the cafeteria where my dad was working and said, "Why won't you come play ball for us?" And my dad's like, "I'm just not good enough." So that's the crazy. So we're basketball people.
How about that?
So watch the ACC tournament every year. Clemson went home every year. And I looked at my dad when I was 8 in the 2nd grade. And I'm like, "Dad, Clemson goes home every year. And then here we're going to sit. Who are we pulling for?" And he said, "Well, you just pick another team." He said, "But your mother hates Dean Smith, so it can't be North Carolina." I said, "Okay, well, but I like their blue." And so,
or blue.
Dark. Yeah, so Duke is a different shade of blue. And I said, "Well, Daddy, how about Duke? I mean, I'm 8. This is 40 years ago. They were not good." And he said, "That Coach K seems like a pretty decent fella. That works." So that's how it became, because Clemson went home every year on the first. And I mean, I bleed orange. Faxon's 3rd generation Clemson. I love my Tigers. So we went to basketball camp and met Faxon's best friend moved to Wake Forest. We met them up there for basketball camp at Duke. And I'm sitting there watching Faxon play in Cameron, which was amazing.
Wow.
And I wrote Coach K a letter and said, and explained the story I just told you, and said, "It's great to watch my kids play in Cameron. This is awesome for a basketball fan. We had a great time. Thanks for running a good camp." And he wrote me back. And I just thought that he took the time to write me back. And so every year when we went to basketball camp, I wrote him a letter, and he wrote me back every year. And I just thought that was amazing that he took the time to do that. He didn't owe me anything. He didn't know me. And it was just super nice. And his family runs camp. His daughters, his wife, everybody's up there. It's a family affair. So I know you don't like him, but he really is a good guy.
Have we had the signature check for authenticity, Carrie Beth?
Well, okay, so do you have time for one other quick crazy story?
Yeah, sure.
Because I am in his book, A Season is a Lifetime. I am in that book because when they played in '92 at Clemson, I was a freshman. And we ran and got our car from the pit, which is where you park,
right?
And followed the bus from Clemson to Greenville-Spartanburg Airport, out onto, we would get arrested now, out onto the tarmac at Stevens Aviation. Got out of the car, knocked on the door of the bus, and he signed autographs, and we got to see that whole, and that was ended up being, the 91-92 back-to-back. That was the second national championship team. So in his book, he talks about the carload of crazy Clemson fans that followed them from Clemson all the way to the airport. So,
how about that?
Yeah.
How about that? Well, look. So you have some good Coach K stories. Look, listen. I didn't always dislike Mike Krzyzewski. I didn't actually. At one time, I was actually a big fan of his, and I actually rooted for Duke. Like back when they were playing UNLV, I was rooting for. I was a big Duke fan.
Yeah.
Back at that point.
Jerry Tarkanian and the travel, yeah.
Right.
At UNLV, I remember all that, yeah.
Right. And it was just over the years as I think he morphed into all the things that he used to protest against. And that's what bothers me. Plus, I've seen some things that I just can't easily forgive. The Dylan Brooks handshake thing is just unthinkable. And if you're like Dylan Brooks' parent, I just don't know how you can live with any of that. But, listen, the bottom line, Carrie Beth, is, look, we're all judged by the preponderance of what we do, not our worst moments. And there's no denying that from a philanthropic standpoint, the man has done a ton. He's done a ton for the game of basketball. And I'm sure there are a million people like you who have really positive stories about him, and I wouldn't deny any of that. So I appreciate you sharing the positive stories as well.
Yes, Mark thought you'd appreciate that.
I do.
And then for my 40th birthday, I took Paxton to Cameron. Most people, Mark's like, you can go anywhere and do anything. And I'm like, I really want to take Paxton to, that's basketball mecca for us, to go to Cameron. So it's pretty neat. But, but thank you for letting me talk about him. And I am excited. I will be pulling for my Tigers tonight.
That's good.
How about that?
That's good. That's good. I'm glad we clarified that before you left. Thank you, Carrie Beth. Great talking to you.
Absolutely. You too.
Thanks, Carrie Beth. That's quite a family. It really is. Hey, let me tell you about Turner's Jewelers. That special gift for your special someone awaits at Turner's Jewelers. Beautiful selection of jewelry, silver, gold, precious gemstones, diamonds. Turner's has necklaces, watches, bracelets, earrings, gorgeous charms to mark any occasion. They can design and create custom jewelry for a truly unique gift. Go see the full Pandora collection of fine jewelry. Turner's is the ideal choice for engagement and wedding rings. Nobody says I do like they do at Turner's. They even have silicone wedding bands, including some with a tiger paw. Trust a family tradition of fantastic personal service for more than 60 years. Start your jewelry shopping today at turnersjewelers.com. You don't need a special occasion. A gift from Turner's makes any day special. Plus, they pay top dollar prices for your old gold or silver. Just bring it in. Choose that one-of-a-kind gift you'll treasure forever, crafted and given with love. There is no store like Turner's. It's privately owned. It's not a chain. It's a special place for special people. Visit today in the Applewood Shopping Center in Seneca next to Belk. Turner's Jewelers, where Southern hospitality meets diamond know-how. I promise you will thank me later. Also, before we go to break, quickly, let me tell you about my friends at George Coleman Ford. You can visit the brand new, updated George Coleman Ford showroom, completely remodeled and improved for the ultimate customer experience. It's amazing. Aside from the walls, the whole thing is new. It's the size of a football field. Pretty much everything inside brand new, from the flooring to the furnishing to the lights. Features a newly expanded customer lounge with Wi-Fi, a children's area, plenty of lighting and room inside for comfort, especially when looking for your new vehicle. Fun reminders of George Coleman Ford's 90-plus years of history being in the business. A new employee fitness area to encourage good physical and mental health and workplace satisfaction. You might be saying, but Walt, what's that have to do with me? Well, everything, because happy employees mean happy customers. It's just a perfect model of what has worked for 90 years. When people come to work at George Coleman Ford, they come young and they stay. And in turn, they reward all of you. And that's why there are so many insanely positive reviews about George Coleman Ford and the way that people are treated. It's been a secret for over 90 years. One thing that's not changed, George Coleman Ford's great customer service, no pressure, no closing or document fees ever. Visit them today. Trust me, you'll thank me later. All right, Walt Deptula Road Rage. Quick break. It's astonishing, but we only have 18 minutes left. I'll be back with Morgan Thomas and Ed and Rory to wrap up today's program.
If you're like me, you're ready to get out.
All right, so you can see how the radio, like, it runs by. I mean, you especially get one or two callers, and you think, remember how we were talking about earlier, you think, wow, I don't see how you could do a 4-hour show. I don't see how you could do a 3-hour show, especially 5 days a week. And that does get hard. But if you get a caller or two, you can see it's like, I mean, really, you don't have a full hour. You have maybe 46 minutes or 45 minutes with the commercials included. So you get 45 minutes every hour. And then, after that, it's basically 12 to 15 minute chunks. And those little chunks there, you get one caller and it's gone, so it can go by very quickly. When you're talking about Deshaun Watson, I mean, like I said, I saw Trevor Lawrence when he first came over, and I was like, wow, this guy's ready to go. I saw Deshaun Watson, and I thought, man, this guy's just too skinny right now. But, man, he just completely went into the weight room and got big quickly, put the work in, and Deshaun is a special player, I hope to see him, next year, if that's possible. And I hope that Trevor Lawrence does better under this new coach for Jacksonville. But yeah, if we've got two more callers and Walt only has 15 minutes, I'm going to hope to get in. I'm really going to hope to get in something about softball, That's my hope, because I went to see the softball game with my daughter, and they're playing their first games tonight at 7, and I'm hoping to get in some discussion, maybe not even a discussion, just a kind of a shout out to everybody. Yeah, I don't think, you're talking about Trevor Lawrence's year this year. I don't think you can really hold it against him at all. I mean, to me, I'm not even thinking about that. Looks like the girls' softball game is going to be on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, I really don't. I'm looking up some softball stuff now. I can't hold it against Trevor. I look forward to seeing what he can do. I assume they're going to get that offensive tackle from Alabama, Evan Neal. If you were the Jaguars, is that who you would go with? And they obviously need an offensive line. So they need offensive line, they need wide receivers.
In football game day coverage. We are 105.5 and 97.5 The Roar, where every day is game day. Go Tigers!
Where it began, I can't begin to know it, but then I know it's growing strong. Hands, touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Reach out alive. Good times never seem so good.
Love, sweet Caroline. We are back. Let me tell you about Nick Lavery. Do you need someone who knows the law on your side? Nick Lavery, Clemson's local attorney, will help you get what you deserve. Nick's office is conveniently located downtown Clemson, 115 Strode Circle. If you have a loved one who's being victimized by substandard care in a nursing home setting, that can't stand. Nick Lavery will help you. Clemson's local attorney encourages you to help defend them by calling his office today for a free consultation. Workman's comp, if you're injured at work, everything seems to go into a tailspin. Medical costs, recovery, losing your paycheck, it all adds up to stress and uncertainty about the future. Filing a workman's comp claim on top of everything else you're going through can be overwhelming. Nick Lavery can help you. DUI, being charged with DUI is a devastating event that can disrupt your entire life. You need the advice of a South Carolina DUI lawyer, and Nick Lavery is here to help you. Boat, car, motorcycle accidents. If you've been injured in a car, motorcycle, or boating accident, it's time to call Nick Lavery, Clemson's local attorney, to evaluate your case. The consultation and phone call are completely free. Wrongful death, if your family is faced with the decision to file a wrongful death lawsuit, it's vital to know exactly what you need and how to get what you deserve. Real estate closings, Nick, home, business. Nick will make sure that your closing goes smoothly. Nick's been serving our Clemson upstate community for more than 20 years. He's here to help you today. Schedule your free consultation with Nick Lavery Law Office today, 864-654-3680. 864-654-3680. Or visit online at nicklaverylaw.com. You know, Ramona, 10 minutes left in the show. I think my voice just cleared up an octave. Why, I have no idea. But we made it through. Morgan, we're basically nearing the end, Morgan, so your time is up. You need to make a decision on who your team is going to be.
Well, first of all, I want to say, going back to the blue, that I thought Carrie Beth was going to give you this whole story and at the end say, I picked them because they're blue. I thought that's where we were going with it.
There was a little blue in it.
Yeah, there was. I'm gonna go with the Rams. I really feel I got to go with the team that paid to be there, and I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go with the Rams. Right. So,
So you're picking the Rams are your team, and therefore you're picking them to win.
Yes, I'm gonna pick them to win.
You sound so certain, Morgan.
I'm not very certain because I'm looking at Trey Hendrickson and Sam Hubbard, and I'm thinking maybe I should pick the Bengals. I don't know.
Yeah. So in other words, you really haven't said anything. Oh, on this Alvin Kamara deal, look, I could go to midnight, but on the Alvin Kamara deal, so here's what happens. Kamara and his posse, Ramona, are leaving this Vegas site, and they're going to the elevator where there's this other dude who wants to go in the elevator, and he's been having some conversation with somebody in Kamara's group. So he starts to get on the elevator too, and Kamara puts his hand out in his chest like to stop him from getting in the elevator.
He touched him?
Yeah. See, that's your first mistake. You don't touch anybody else. You don't.
No, you do.
You keep your hands off, because once you touch, all rules are off as far as I'm concerned.
I would be going.
So this dude swatted Kamara's hand, and then somebody allegedly in Kamara's posse then punched him in the face, and then Kamara punched him a number of times before he fell to the ground. Where, according to video, the police have determined that Kamara punched him at least 3 more times once he was on the ground, and members of his posse kicked him repeatedly in the head while he was on the ground. In fact, one story I read said that one of his group kicked him 17, 18 times in the head. See, that's what gets you in prison. You know, look, here's the deal.
Send him to jail.
Bar fights can happen, and these type of things can happen, but there is a cutoff point, all right? Once you get knocked to the ground, all right, you better not hit him anymore, because once he's on the ground and you continue hitting him, that's when you go to jail.
Yeah, I mean, if they're gonna fall, like he grabs your hand or whatever, and you get in a fight. Once they fall, you should be done with that.
Yeah,
you won the argument, basically. Leave them alone.
And certainly, look. And you didn't even do that. You ganged up on this dude. The whole ganging up thing is pathetic to begin with. You know, if this dude and Kamara have an issue, then let them sell it.
Like they were teenagers or something.
And keep your, to yourself.
Yeah.
Because it's
you
just
touch me.
Right. It's a bunch of nuts. That's right. Because you beat up people in bar rooms too. Forgot about that. Yeah. Ramona jacked some guy up in a bar room too. That's a fact. She says. I believe her. So there's the story, Morgan. And so Alvin Kamara.
Is he in jail?
He's facing felony charges.
He is good.
So
good. What about the guy? Is he all right? I mean,
no, he broke an eye socket. His eye socket was broken. So he's not all right. The good thing for him, the only good thing for him is he's going to wind up a very rich man, regardless of whether Kamara goes to jail.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to wind up a very rich man. Kamara's going to write a big check.
Yeah.
A big check to that
dude.
Yeah.
And he basically started it, so.
Yeah. Yeah, Kamara started it.
I mean, he put his hands on the guy. Right. That was it.
Right.
It was over. And especially over a dang elevator. Come on.
I mean, just ridiculous. So, Morgan, don't pick the Saints, Morgan, because they don't have a quarterback and they don't have Alvin Kamara anymore, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just reading this during the break, and it just disgusts me. I mean, it's just crazy what he did to this guy. I mean, I don't know. Nothing you can say. He said he called my friend ugly. I mean, really? Is that really what you're going to tell people? And then he claims certain things, and then they said, well, we got it all on film, and everything you said was not what happened. So he's already lying about it, I don't know.
I'm assuming we can guess from the rest of it that his stuff about the ugly line is a lie too.
Yeah, like I said, I just think it's disgusting, and if it was not another guy, I mean, this would be all over. I mean, everywhere. If he was doing this to a female, this would be huge. I mean, just many, many, many years in prison for this. But I don't know what they're going to end up doing. But like you said, hopefully this guy gets better, and hopefully he can, hopefully Alvin Kamara gets the justice that he needs in this situation. And those other guys, like Ramona said, the other guys involved as well.
Kamara, once the guy goes to the ground and the losers who pile on, who are kicking him in the head, that just means you're a punk. I mean, you're just an absolute punk. I mean, what are you accomplishing? I don't get it. I don't get it. But
hey, Walt, I wanted to give a shout out. I know we don't have much time, and I did promise this. I went to the softball scrimmage this weekend. I met Ansley Houston's mom and dad. I took my daughter. I'm officially a softball dad. They're getting ready to start here in about 4 minutes. And so I just wanted to give a shout out. Ansley Houston, Madison May, and Ansley's family. They were so awesome. And it was really cool to see the softball game. And I look forward to the Clemson Lady Tigers playing tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And then of course the men will take on Duke tonight. It's not an easy matchup. Vancaro maybe fading a little bit, may have hit a little bit of a wall late. I'm sort of hoping for that. because I think we're going to see some Shefflin in that matchup. And Bencaro is 6'10", obviously can shoot over anybody. That's going to be a problem if Bencaro is on. Hey, listen up, sports bettors. I know you guys are waiting on a hole too. I apologize. I'm going to try and come to you. Walt Deptula here to tell you about my favorite sports book. That's BetUS. The Super Bowl is still here. You can still get in on all the Super Bowl betting action. I only endorse one sports book. That's BetUS.com. Why, you ask? Because BetUS has been America's favorite sports book for over a quarter century. You need a sports book with integrity, longevity. You need to know that you're going to get paid. You need a sports book that offers everything. Live betting, MMA, golf, horses, esports, all kinds of crazy bets. Call today at 1-800-79-BET-US. That's 1-800-79-BET-US. They'll walk you through setting up an account. Nobody in the industry gives bigger bonuses than BetUS. Join now. Mention WCCP. You can get up to 200% in bonuses on your first deposit. Nobody beats that. I bet at BetUS. So should you. Go now to BetUS.com. Join BetUS.com today. Start betting with America's favorite sportsbook. That's BetUS.com. Enter WCCP. BetUS.com, where the game begins. All the prop bets, everything this Super Bowl, you'll have it all. You can bet on how long the national anthem will take. Ed, how are you, Ed? I know you've been hanging 55 minutes, and I've got like 55 seconds for you.
Yep.
Doesn't seem fair, does it?
First of all, George Coleman had a kids area previously. Greg ran me out of it for hogging toys. Look here, the reigning Jeopardy champ is a Clemson grad from 2001. He's won 3 straight games.
Is that right?
And the college game comes on right after it at 8 o'clock, and there's a girl from Clemson named Pauline, just to let everybody know. So we've got softball, we've got basketball, and we got Jeopardy going on.
Let's go. All right, Ed.
I like it, Ed. Thank you, Ed. Morgan, any final thoughts, Morgan?
I appreciate you having me on. Check me out on Twitter at The Morgan T Show and on YouTube, as always, every week.
Great job, Morgan. I wish the show had been longer today.
All right, fellas, that's the end of the show. Hopefully you got a fun behind the scenes of what the radio is like. I'm not going to do a 7 o'clock show because I'm going to go flip on over to the softball game. As always, Tiger fans, we'll see you